All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. I've brought on a special guest to talk about another interesting Green Beret, Matt Tardio. Welcome, Matt.
This is the year of Green Beret embarrassment. It really is.
It's 2025 is the year of the shitbag Green Beret, unfortunately.
Why not, dude? Just why not? And I don't even know where to begin with this guy. I know when I first got sent these claims, like I think it was Saturday morning or maybe it was Friday. I forget which day. I don't know. I don't even know, man. But when I got sent him, I just kind of looked at it. I was like, that dude kind of looks a little familiar.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. Did I tell you he was like one of my PLs when I was in the infantry?
Yeah. So, guys, Matt worked with this guy, first of all. So we have that to talk about. All right. And this is going to be a good one, guys. I've already seen in the comment section, it's already started where people are like, it doesn't matter, what his personal life is. We still have to believe what he's saying about Gaza. Okay.
And I had a very long conversation about that last night as well. I actually had a very good in-depth conversation about that last night with a friend that, even I questioned this on my X profile yesterday where I said, okay, if the guy's got a history of DV, which we're going to get into, it kind of goes into question the character of people that GHF is hiring, right? For that mission. So that within itself is questionable, which
yeah, how do you even get and guys, we're going to get into his background, but like how you even get hired with this guy's background,
right?
Very, very suspicious. Also, I want to preface this, guys, because people are going to say one way or the other. The reason why me and Matt are doing this together as both Green Berets, talking about a fellow Green Beret, Matt, very pro-Israel, me, very outspoken, anti-Palestine and Israel. So you have two different, like polar opposite opinions and perspectives on this issue. And if we both agree on something, it's probably pretty likely there's a good reason why. Okay.
And
so
to be clear,
there's no ability for you to call me an Israel shill or to call Matt a simp for Palestine. It's not going to work either way.
And to be clear, in all fairness, I'm pretty sure I was the first one to call out Israel about a humanitarian aid situation all the way back in 2023 when I was covering the war, saying if they don't get the corridor under control, it's going to be an issue. Like they need to establish a humanitarian corridor. Also, when GHF moved in, and you can go back and you check out my videos, I was like, Israel, screw GHF. Those look like crappy freaking sites. They're dirt berms. They look like they were hastily made. And then that day, one of them ends up getting ran over.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that forever. So, but I did bring facts and figures today to go over his claims. And some of it's just common sense, right? Some of it's just common sense, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, do we want to start with the claims and then we'll move into the man? Do we want to go that order?
Can we first address the claims that you were talking trash about me and how people have tiny heart syndrome and like thin skin? Can we do that first and foremost? Because it's really sad. Like people really need to lighten up. I think if there is anything that anybody takes away after we trash this guy's like reputation even harder than it already is, it should be that. It should be that everybody just needs to chill out a little bit and learn how to take a joke.
And it's funny, guys, because I give Matt a hard time. I put up the Israel flag in the background, making fun of Matt, and then me and Matt talk over text and laugh about it literally right afterwards. So you guys need to calm down. We're friends. We don't have to have the exact same fucking political beliefs on everything, guys. It's okay. No. And also, Matt, they don't really understand team room humor, right? Like typically if I'm making fun of you in a funny, lighthearted way, it's because I like you in the SF space. If I'm not making fun of you, if I'm just trashing you for what
if you're just trashing, then you're a POS.
That's a little different. But if I'm lightheartedly making a joke, man, that's endearing in our community. So,
but just to be clear, you needed Matt Tardio's support again on this. Do you need to borrow an Israeli flag? Because I have one over here that got given to me. That was in guys got dirt from Gaza on it.
I think. I mean, we might have to put up the Israel protection flag. We got Matt with us though, so I think we're good.
We need it. We got it, man. We're protected. We're protected.
Yeah, let's start.
I'm an honorary Jew.
Oh yeah.
Or as the Palestinians call him, Yudin.
So, yeah. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Yep. Let's start with the claims, right? So obviously, I don't know if we want to like play the clips from the Tucker Carlson episode. I could. Let's play straight up the clips. His biggest, he does the whole big sad diatribe about the kid. The little boy who looks just like his little boy, which felt very scripted and very I don't know. I don't want to get into the propaganda side of it yet, but
let's play the clip first and then go over the ridiculous side of it.
All right.
Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. So I've got this clip, and I think this is this is the section where he really gets into this that I wanted to show. Let's do this. All right. So here is where he makes the real bold claims about witnessing straight up war crimes in front of his face. Let's take a watch.
Amir goes back to the main group, and he goes out the exit. We had a very strict protocol that they come in a certain way, get the aid, and then they go out a certain way. From the way they came in, it takes them back to the way they came in. The exit takes them back that same way. So they enter from the Morag corridor, they go south, they go through the station, they exit, and they go north to the Morag corridor. So coming in and going out, they're tied right back into the active combat zone. Site number 2 particularly is a little bit different than the other sites because it's in between site 1 and 2. And there's an IDF combat outpost just off the corner of SDS 2. So there's a berm that lines that road going out. So if people are leaving the exit and someone is on the east side of the berm shooting into the crowd over here, you can't see what's on the other side of that berm because of the obscuration, the field of fire. So the IDF are shooting at the crowd that's leaving. As the crowd left and they would hit the Morag corridor to go west, the IDF would shoot at them, shoot at their feet, shoot over their head. We would shoot at them, shoot at their feet, shoot over their head, shoot into the air. And the bullets start hitting off the ground. There's video of this. It's on the BBC video. Hitting off the ground, see dirt flying up. And I was still on the site. I was below the berm. It was the second time we had done distribution. So when I heard the gunfire kick off, the automatic machine gun fire, I thought we were under attack. I thought something had happened. So I ran up to the southern berm and I laid down to take cover. You know, I'm observing and I'm looking, and I see the shooting keep going on, like just the rap and Palestinians dropping on the side of the road. So Amir didn't make it home. He walked 12 kilometers to get some food, picked up scraps off the ground, because that's all that was left, because the 8-minute mayhem took all of the food. And by the time he got there, walking with no shoes, hungry and tired, the only thing left for him was to pick up some remnants off the ground. And when he left, he was killed by the IDF. Why? Because they lack discipline, they lack standards, and they lack basic human.
Wait a minute. Can you pause it now?
Let's pause here.
Didn't he just say it was GHF that was like firing the warning shots, not the IDF?
So what? And I wanted to bring that up to you, Matt. What he said is Israel was firing warning shots. Israel did this, or the IDF did this, the IDF that did this. And then he said, we started firing at them.
So here's what I know about how it works based off of contractor videos, what I've seen, what I've studied, and the people that I've talked to on the ground. What normally happens is GHF is running their own show. If they need QRF, they can dial up Israel to come in if the situation gets out of control. Currently at those situations, like down in those areas, the IDF is still actively running like combat ops. They're still doing clearing ops down in there. They shut down one time a day, every single day, in order to go over and lock down a humanitarian aid corridor for the World Food Program. They're not allowed to escort the World Food Program, but they shut down ops. And they go over and they kind of lock down the corridor, but the UN doesn't want them beside their vehicles. So it could be that things have updated since the last time I got an update, and that now when they do their operational shutdown to go lock down the HA corridor, that they also deploy over to those distribution sites in order to distribute food.
Yeah,
that could be. I also know that SRS ended up putting out, it was either SRS or GHF. So SRS, the security contracting company that's over there doing the stuff. And then there's GHF, which is the overall mission, right? That's got Israeli and U.S. money pumping into it.
For the chat, Matt, everybody, that's the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, right? That's correct. The big organization that's doing the humanitarian aid.
Correct. So yeah. What they had put out was that Hamas had actually snuck in multiple pistols, and this was it was like a week and a half ago, that they had snuck pistols in over to some of the distribution sites and actually sparked off basically a riot, and 12 people ended up getting trampled to death, and one of the contractors ended up like getting threatened, and they didn't give a sit rep at the end or like a BDA whether or not they ended up smoking the dude or what happened. I would assume that that's what happened if you threaten somebody with a pistol, right? Like, yeah. I couldn't imagine it turning out any other ways. And I've also studied a lot of the videos from over there as well and looked at them, and the people that are over on my channel that are watching would also vouch for this, that there's no hiding it. Like the IDF has screwed up multiple times out there.
Yeah.
And I called them on it. right? Because what they did was they hastily threw in these positions. That's what it appears to be, that they hastily threw in these dirt berms at these distribution sites. There's not a lot of like proper channeling for people to go in and out of. When there was proper channeling, it basically all got trampled and ripped down. But at one point in time, the IDF was using terrain denial via artillery and mortars in order to keep the Palestinians from like flanking and going around to like overrun the sites. And remind you, I said day one, the sites ended up getting overran. And they originally got called out for it in a video because everything's going to hit, the internet way before they get a chance to make a statement. Israel owns up to it, says, yep, we're tracking on that. They put bad dope into the guns. They think they adjusted fire, or maybe they got a bad grid, right? And they ended up killing a couple civilians. The bottom line is they should never have to have been using artillery for terrain denial to keep people from going out if they had proper security at these dang sites. That's not what he's alleging here. He's just saying that they straight up opened up on him
with machine guns.
And right. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is when they screw up, I have consistently seen Israel own it, whether it makes them look good or not. And so this allegation within itself, number one, we've got good reason for them to actually open fire. He states that he's over and he's behind the berm and he can't see anything. For those of you that haven't seen it, I could maybe pull one up and put it up on the screen for you guys. But it is like probably like a 30-foot tall dirt berm. They basically dug out from the middle and pushed the dirt back. So when he's in there, he can't see what they're opening up on or the contact thereof, right? Like he's got no idea what it is that they're engaging. None.
Well, but he says that he was shooting as well in that clip.
I thought he said he just got down and pulled security.
No. What I mean, Matt, and this is what really bugged me about his thing, is he's criticizing the IDF for what the IDF is doing, which is fine. But in that clip, he says the IDF started opening fire, and then he said we started engaging them.
He did say that, yeah.
And
he
so
said we. Which
so
is
what is, and he's with UG Solutions, right? That's the contract company that he's with. This is what I want to figure out, because when I first watched this is why, and I think I told Matt this, or maybe I told somebody else I was talking about this. When I first saw this clip sent to me, right, as someone who's extremely critical of the IDF in Israel, I see Green Beret, who's in Gaza, who saw war crimes, and I'm like on Tucker, and I go, oh shit, a credible source, a Green Beret who saw this. So I initially opened the clip like, this is for me, this is like, I would typically take this guy's side, right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, got it. And then I watched that tiny clip and I immediately go, before I learn anything about this guy, by the way, Matt, like his transgressions and his real fucked up problems. And I go, wait, hold on. So you're telling me that you, contractor with UG Solutions, are here and you're doing your humanitarian and you got this little boy with you and you're handing that, and these guys also tons of photo ops. He's taking videos with this kid. He's taking pictures with this kid. They're all over the internet. And then all of a sudden, in front of all these American contractors, all these aid workers who all have cameras and phones, the IDF just starts murdering people.
Well,
but there's, you had your camera out to take all these photo ops, but as soon as the war crimes start, now
it
my
goes
phone
away. Well, and I mean, that could be excusable. That could be excusable given his shaky Silver Star record, right? But
which we'll get into.
Right. But I mean, do you know what his role was for that company?
Yeah, he was a JTOC worker, which means he wasn't even supposed to be outside of the JOC. He wasn't even supposed to be there.
To my understanding, he was a logistical, like he was basically filling a logistics role.
He was running an ops. He was running ops in the JTOC, basically.
Right.
And he got fired, I believe, for leaving the JTOC and going out to these places he wasn't even supposed to be at.
Right.
As far as I understand.
Right. And so what you'll notice as well about his statement is he's not mentioning any radio communications about anything that's going on. He didn't, and that is something that would get blasted out pretty dang quick. Right. So he didn't mention any of that. And I think it's also fair to mention that if the IDF is outside of that site and they're pulling security, that they're going to have way more situational awareness than Tony out there without comms, presumably without comms, without any situational awareness, because they are going to have ISR. They're going to have likely some helos overhead. They're probably going to at least have a drone. We know that they have tanks out there. Those Merkava's got really good freaking optics on them, right? So they're going to be getting a lot more information. And it is possible, right? So, and this is where I had a problem with him because I take the stance that you do, right? Okay, a Green Beret's coming out and saying this stuff. Let's take a look and see what he's saying.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can show you that I got thrown in a chat, and I can back this up with my own DMs, that I got thrown in a chat that was like, holy shit, this Green Beret just said all of these things. What are we going to do? He said that, the Israelis killed him with like artillery fire. Well, that's a fact. He said that the sites were put up hastily. Well, that's a fact. He said that, they did this. And then we started talking about the kids and then just blasting people the way he describes. That's not so factual. And what he failed to do is provide the counter narrative, which is what we're doing right now, which is common sense applies. You have more situational awareness outside of there. And it is possible that the Israelis opened fire beforehand and actually saved his dumb life.
Yeah. It's still, for me, the way he describes it is the Palestinians were basically peacefully leaving and just walking down the road. And then the IDF just opens up with machine guns and just guns people down on the road. To me, that's the horrific definition of actual war crimes. Mm-hmm. And so shouldn't we, with all of these people here and him watching it, shouldn't we have video of that? Shouldn't we have corroborating witness statements of that? I can't imagine the people there that are trying to provide aid to the Palestinians are probably not the people that are super anti-Palestine.
So this is something that I also brought up in my conversation last night, looking at it. You got at least a platoon's worth of men out there at each of these sites, like on security, as all of this is going on, because of the thousands of people that are showing up these distribution times, at least a platoon. And I'll remind everybody, and I ran these dang numbers yesterday. I pulled the figures straight off the UN's website, that GHF is actually distributing 655% more food to the Palestinians than the World Food Program is. Say that again, 655% more food than the UN's World Food Program. And with a platoon size element out there at a minimum, would you agree with that figure? Like about a platoon worth of men at a minimum for one of these places for security?
I would say so.
So like 30 to 40 guys. Yeah, 30 to 40 guys just running security out there. And then you've got the additional personnel that are like setting things up, handing out, shaking hands, whatever. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that out of the character of men that are out there, they're willing to like leave their families behind, go forward on the front just to deliver humanitarian aid. I get it. They get a paycheck, right? However, that nobody else said a dang word about it.
Yeah, nobody.
If they were just mowing people down.
Also, it's very interesting to me. And again, guys, we haven't shown you receipts yet and text messages, because I can see over here somebody just said, "Oh, Israel got to Nate." Oh yeah, guys, my channel.
No,
I on all of a sudden AIPAC offered me a bunch of money, and here I am. Like, shut the fuck up. Obviously, that's not going to work here. My thing is, I'm looking at this objectively, right? Of like, does this story make sense? And Matt can attest to this. I think me and Matt, all the Green Beret community, and this is the back channels of Green Berets are all saying this, is we're fucking sick and tired of the biggest shitbags in our community coming out, being the mouthpiece for Green Berets and fucking embarrassing everybody.
And being problem children and embarrassing us. You know what I mean?
That's what this guy is. And we're going to get into his bullshit. I can promise you that.
I sit here with my backwards hat on and sunglasses propped on the top of my head. But when I go on national TV, I've got a freaking suit on at a minimum, at least wearing a jacket. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going out there just being an asshole, throwing out all sorts of accusations that are easily shot down with a really shaky service record. An alleged stolen valid amount.
Really shaky is you're being very.
I'm being generous,
gratuitous, and generous.
Very generous,
shaky. Which why don't we do that? Let's take a pause, and why don't we show everybody who this gentleman actually is? Let's start with this. You guys see this on the screen? Why don't we talk about Anthony Aguilar, and why he was fired and removed from command in 2021? For those of you guys, I don't know if they can see that, Matt.
You're right.
I'll put it up on mine because I can get the full thing up here.
You've got the God. Yeah.
Do I have the photos here? Hold on. Or maybe. Oh, did I not I didn't pre-stage that one. Stand by.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What about?
Here we go. I got it. All right. So, Twitter. That's what I'm looking for. Share. Got it. All right. Here we go. So, this is Anthony Aguilar. As you guys see here in 2021, Sanford, North Carolina, while he was at SWCC, he decided to beat the shit out of his fucking wife and put her in the hospital. He was then removed from command, fired, and basically sent to be a desk jockey and forced to retire. So this is, and we're not done, guys. This is the start. This is just a little just a little start into who this person is. Okay, so when I see this, and I'm sure Matt can attest, when I see a Green Beret who is fired from command, much like Colonel Ray, for beating the fuck out of his wife and putting her in the hospital, I'm going to be a little hesitant to believe anything that comes out of this fucking guy's mouth. Just from this, and we haven't even gotten to the big lies. This is just what a shitty person he is, right?
Yeah.
So that's, again, right? You're talking about being fired from command, domestic violence. That's a no-go. But
that's bad.
That's bad. But that's not even that's not where the pathological liar steps in. Okay. The pathological liar, as we can go, is, and this is kind of, well, maybe we could try to get this in the timeline of events, because as you guys know how this all worked, is he was fired from UG Solutions about 2 weeks after being there. So this guy barely made it to even be on the ground in Israel at all before he was fired. And when he was fired, he then decided to send a bunch of fucking text messages trying to basically, I don't know how would you say it, pull at the hearts of the people that fired him.
Originally it was, hey, I'm a good dude. You kind of need me out there, man. I understand my contract's terminated, but maybe you could get me a different one. And if it's because of this guy who I had an argument with, maybe you could just, ignore that and give me a different job. And then it went to the heartstrings.
Which I'm going to pull up.
And that's important. And that is important because in some of the very first videos that he ended up putting out with the BBC, he quit. He didn't say he was fired. He said he quit. That's important for people to understand.
So this is his very first text message. It might be a little bit hard to read. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll just read it off real quick. So Dan, this is what he says to the person that basically fired him. Dan, I can be of value to the team. You know that. I just retired from 25 years in the Army in March, just a bit over 60 days. It's hard to break and even recognize the way I am. The UG team relied on me in the beginning. John C., Nate, and even you thanked me on day one for my part in getting things back on track. I allowed myself to get too attached, too deep, and lose track of my role. You know I'm capable, and I want to be part of this team and this mission. I will apologize to Mo and Carlos. I texted them as much, and when they want to talk, I will apologize in person. Let's please talk. I have good relationship with the men. I work my butt off for them in the mission. I allowed myself to get stressed and haven't been eating or sleeping well and clouded my judgment, and I can correct that. I can fit in. I'm asking, please. I am a good man and a hard worker. All right, so Matt, that's his, after he gets relieved for cause, after 2 weeks, that's his first email or his first text message he starts sending, which is, like you said, is him trying to, it gets way worse, guys. Him trying to justify how hard of a worker he is and how much the men appreciate him.
Well, did you ever watch the video that the attorneys had put out? It's like 15 minutes long.
No, I got sent that, but I wasn't able to watch it before we
went live. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it here in a sec. It's okay. Keep rolling. I don't want to interrupt the train we're on right now. I don't want to
start. So again, guys, that's the first text. And as you see there, he is admitting that he fucked up. Whatever he did, right? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. All these mental gymnastic reasons for why what he did was wrong. Okay, that's out of his own mouth. And then he gets a little bit more aggressive. Let's see do I have this pulled up here? Oh, here we go. How do I get this back? Oh, yeah, here we go. Still learning. All right, he gets a little bit more aggressive. And then he says, I'm going to send you some thoughts to consider on the UGS leadership. I do not want to leave. I understand my current contract as the JTOC operator, as we talked about earlier, is terminated. Fine. So here he's acknowledged, because Matt, he tried to say he resigned, right? But here's actual documentation of him admitting that he was fired. But I can be put on a new contract. If Taz liking or the fear the UGS is being held hostage, just stay reports from the SRS people that live in Beersheba are the Taz lost it again. It's on time. Joe, ask Joe. I can be of huge value to this company and contract. Take advantage of me of an asset. No one else on this contract has the planning, leadership, and experience that I bring. Infantry, Ranger Regiment, Special Forces, command at every level.
Right. Nate, I gotta read this comment to you because I'm pretty sure it was directed at you, and I'm not gonna be able to get this out of my mind until I read it.
All right, let's hear it.
One of the dudes on my channel said, "You look like your parents are the fat electrician and the liver king."
That's a good one. So I usually get Me, JD Delay, and Electrician are all triplets.
Oh yeah.
I do get the Liver King.
Yeah.
If the Liver King's about 5'6", 170, so I'm about a foot taller than him, but I do get that.
Oh, another liar.
If I was on about $12,000 worth of juice, I'd probably look even more like him. But
another liar. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Well, Liver
I didn't
King,
mean to interrupt it.
not Fat Electrician.
I'm sorry. I read that. And I just died laughing.
No, I get it all the time, dude. We're all good. Well, and after we do this, we'll hit all these super chats and stuff because they're all coming in from both channels. But again, guys, so we went from in his narrative again, and so everybody who was like, "You're an Israel shill," we're walking you through who this person is. Okay, his initial story that he leaked to the press was that he resigned because of the things he saw. Right, Matt? Like the horrible things I saw. That's why I resigned out of integrity. No, you didn't. You were fired for cause. And then you went on this whole diatribe begging for forgiveness and get your job back. But it gets even worse. This is the big nail in the coffin. So he's now trying to do anything he can. Now he's going to pull at heartstrings with this absolute gem. And this is the one for me that is just it's the Tim Kennedy approach, right?
Oh, it's great.
So he says, John, got it. Because again, everybody's telling him, fucking, you need to stop texting us because you're a psychopath at this point. I just came off chemo from stage 4 cancer before I took this job. Both of my children are adopted. One is blind. The other is autistic. I understand family 1000%. All more the why me being here is so important. I earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Silver Star, and a Bronze Star for Valor in Combat. Look it up. Well, I did, by the way, guys. I will drag my nuts across 100 million miles of glass before I capitulate to this bullshit, figure something out, or I'm on a plane come Tuesday and my gloves are off. Okay, let's break down. Let's break down that, Matt.
Yep. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with, I mean, it's all lies, by the way. Let's start with the awards. You know, everybody knows when it comes to Nate loves when people lie about Valor Awards. Tim Kennedy learned that the hard way. So, Silver Star. The problem with lying about a Silver Star, Matt, I'm sure you know what the biggest problem about lying about the Silver Star is.
It makes you a douchebag.
It makes you a douchebag, but there's a Silver Star fucking registry, guys.
Facts.
It's not like a BSMV. I can look you up, which I did. And in no form of Tony or Anthony Aguilar can I find anyone with a Bronze Star. So I figured, why don't we just look at his uniform? This is a recent uniform picture from him. As we zoom in here, as you see on the very top left award, which is your highest ranking award, that is not a Silver Star.
No, that's a Bronze Star.
That's a Bronze Star. Well, we're going to talk about something. That's a BSMV, which that's the crazy thing is like the dude actually has a BSMV. He has a Purple Heart, but you guys probably can't see it's not zoomed in enough. There is no oak leaf cluster on that Purple Heart. There is no Silver Star. So this motherfucker is lying about having both a Silver Star and an extra Purple Heart. Why
would you do that? You have a BSMV and you have a Purple Heart. Why would you lie about that?
You have 10 times more than Tim Kennedy had, and you still felt the need to fucking lie. So, chat, are you starting to understand this a little bit better? Okay. The guy's fucking lying about having the Silver Stars, lying about having an extra Purple Heart. Why? Nobody knows, but it gets worse, Matt, because
yes, it does. We're not even there yet.
That's not the only thing he's fucking lying about.
No, sir.
In this insane text message. Let me go back to it. Pull it up.
Somebody asked, is there a V on that BSM? You said you saw one.
Yes, there is. But also, we'll go back to the picture. His uniform is still fucked up, and we'll talk about it in a second here. But let's look at this. Okay, back to this. Let's get to John. I just came off chemo from stage 4 cancer.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. We have talked to a bunch of people who know him personally. Nobody can confirm they've ever heard he was on cancer. Also, Matt, if you had stage 4 cancer, do you think you would get hired for a contracting gig?
No, I actually know numerous people that have had stage 4 cancer, have gone through the treatment. Both of them died, and they were so weak. It's not even funny. It's so, I don't even know how to describe it, but it is so painful to watch somebody go through that. That's almost that's that honestly, man, that's up there with the Silver Star claim, to be honest.
Oh,
Like
but it gets way worse. This isn't even it. So at this point, we're lied about Silver Star, lied about an extra Purple Heart, lied about having stage 4 cancer, which is psychotic. But imagine this, Matt. I've got kids. You've got kids, right?
Yeah.
He then says this about his family to what? To get sympathy and to get hired back. He says, both of my children are adopted. Well, guess what? Not both of his children are adopted. Only
Nate, do you know I had one of those?
What's that?
Did you know I had one of those?
I did not.
Let me tell you.
But again, why would you lie about this? Why would you lie that you have 2 adopted children when you have 1, and then 1 is blind? Well, according to everybody who knows this guy, he does not have a blind child. Why would you lie about your child being blind? Then he says 1 is autistic. Apparently, the older kid he's talking about is not autistic, but is highly gifted, according to everybody that knows this guy. So
he's back to twisting narratives. Well, some of it's a twisted narrative for his kid, which is just jacked up that he would use his own kid to do that in the first place. And then the cancer, the adoption, like all of it, the blind kid. It's disgusting.
It's like, and the person I was talking to before we got on here, we made the joke of like, oh, he's just like Tim Kennedy. And then we both said, no, this guy's way fucking worse than Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy didn't lie about having cancer. Tim Kennedy didn't lie about his children's health issues to like garner sympathy and like all this.
I heard he lied about jumping in a trench in Ukraine over by Lviv and claiming that he was on the front lines. But other than that,
yeah, I mean,
that's just standard TK.
Shit, but like making up things about your kid's health to gain her sympathy to try to get rehired from a job you got fired from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. Because not only did you get fired, you claimed you had cancer, which blows my mind. Like that within itself is disgusting. And honestly, like adopting kids is a hurdle within itself.
Yes,
like
it is.
Having adopted children, it is a hurdle within itself.
100%.
On top of that, then using your own children and twisting the narrative, like just straight up lying about them,
saying they're blind and autistic when they're not, to garner sympathy.
I don't even know where to begin. So
those of you in the chat, there's a lot of people in the chat who started with, "Oh, we got to believe this guy." I think a lot of you are probably going, "Oh fuck," at this point. Right. All right, let's hit some super chats, because when we're not even done, there's more crazy lies coming. But like, we got a lot of memberships. You got tons of memberships coming in. You can see yours
I've got
too.
Gifted. Yeah, people love to gift memberships on my channel, and I love the people that gift those memberships, dude. It's wild.
So it's like, I don't know whose are whose, because all of ours filter through the same thing. So we'll just go through them together. Leonardo DiCaprio, $2. May God have mercy on the Jews. Wow, that was dark right out the gate. That's somebody from my channel for sure, I'd bet. Legalize Ranch.
People on my channel every day is like, all right, how do we blame this on the Jews today? I'm like, I'm getting there. It's coming.
All right. Oh, this is for you, I'm sure. Love you guys. Glad to see Nate on. Hell yeah. All right. Tons of memberships from these guys. We'll play them.
John, that's over on mine. John's a good dude.
Oh, these are all Speak the Truth.
He's on mine. Yep.
Michael Sindri, $2. That Lieutenant Colonel Math is not mathin'. Love the page. Yeah, there's this guy. Speaking of membership, we got new members. Nobody donates me memberships, guys. 7 months. That's got to be you. Who knows? All right, John Hanish, $10. Nate will change mind on this within a year. Matt will not, but his Hasbara will change. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? What will I change my mind on? Like I'm going to become pro-Israel? Is that where I'm going to change my mind?
There's nothing to change your mind on when a guy claims to have cancer. There's nothing to change your mind on when a guy flat out lies about his children. There's nothing to change your mind on when a guy lied to have a Silver Star and an additional Purple Heart. And we haven't even gotten to his actual service record yet. Just his lies about his service record.
Also, he was fired and removed from command for putting his wife in the hospital. Like we didn't. That's just
right. But like, there's nothing to change your mind on there, pal. Like I'm sorry, John. There's just not, man.
Yeah, unlikely. All right, Israel owns its mistakes, except for a certain USS. Oh, there you go. You got a Liberty joke. That's for you, Matt, I'm sure. MT
Oh, the
$10.
USS Liberty. Oh, man, I could go off on that thing for a while. Like, y'all really need to study your history on that because it's not what you think. And if you're gonna hate Israel for the USS Liberty, you guys should probably hate the 75th Ranger Regiment for killing what's that football player that got schwacked back in the day? Pat Tillman. Y'all need to go hate on the 75th Ranger Regiment for killing Pat Tillman.
There's actually some pretty dark backstory about that I haven't talked
I am
about.
aware. I am aware.
I'm sure you are.
Have you
Our
talked about
community knows
that?
about it. All right, MT $10. I don't see no focus on the fact that the original BBC report, they showed what they said was Americans offing Palestinians for sport and cheering. GHF should sue him and the BBC. I'm not aware of that. I did want to ask about that video, Matt. Once we get through the super chats, I saw that video. Just confusing of like them shooting randomly into the berm. What the purpose of that was? Maybe we'll talk about that once we get through the super chats.
Yep, I got you.
Idiot Carrot $10. 600% is that because the UN was blocked from entering, there were a bunch of blocked aid from January to 2024. Maybe. I mean, Matt would know way more about that than me.
600% is that because the UN was blocked from entering. The UN wasn't blocked
he's saying
from
Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is producing 600%.
So what ended up happening was UNRWA, UNWRA, ended up getting blocked inside Gaza because there is documented evidence that they've been working hand in hand with Hamas. There's also documented evidence that the humanitarian aid has been getting used to smuggle weapons. And so I want you to use common sense here for just a quick sec. All right. Israel doesn't control the entire border, by the way. Egypt does. And there is massive tunnels that you could drive a semi truck through in between Egypt and the Sinai Peninsula, between Gaza and the Sinai Peninsula and or Egypt. Right. And so originally they were smuggling all of those weapons in through those tunnels, more than likely. Right. That route has been closed off for coming up about a year now. That they were smuggling those weapons in through. And yet they still have mortars, they still have bullets, they still have precursors to make IEDs, they still have explosives, they still have RPGs. They still actually had SA-7s this year, right? So how are those getting in? How do you think? If they're controlling everything? Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah,
right.
I mean, it has to get in somehow, right? Like, obviously at this point.
So what they're doing is they're holding it up. Now, on the Gaza side of the border currently, there's about 950 humanitarian aid trucks that are stacked that the UN is responsible to pick up. And so also over on the Israeli side of the border, you have a bunch of humanitarian aid that's just in this huge freaking like logistics area that's already been cleared and ready to get picked up. The problem is the UN doesn't have enough people to go over there and pick it up. The UN's not putting enough people over there to go grab it. That's quite literally their job. UNRWA is not allowed to go pick it up because they've been infiltrated by Hamas, and it's documented a ton. UN Watch ended up uncovering like some 1,200 plus workers. I've got videos for you that I could show you of UNRWA and Hamas working hand in hand. It's absolutely disgusting. I can show you, UNRWA schools where they're praising Mein Kampf, and it's actually like some reading material that they have. I mean, this is all stuff that was happening. Yes. No, this is documented. This is a fact,
dude.
This is documented. It's a fact. And it got put out by Hamas, and it got put out by Al Jazeera. It got put out by them before all of this kicked off and made it mainstream. Dude, I could show you a video out of the West Bank that people that came out last year. It's over on my IG. I'm pretty sure I shared it over on like my X account too. But it was of the Palestinians that were complaining about the Israeli tanks rolling into the West Bank. And they were like, look at these freaking Zionist tanks coming in to destroy our city. And you pause the video, and if you zoom in and you look at the telephone pole, there's a giant swastika poster like on the telephone pole. Yeah, it's not a joke, dude. Like they love the Nazis, man. If you go back to World War II, Adolf Hitler and the Grand Mufti, like it's
to be honest, I get it. Not that I support that, but I mean, I get where they're coming from. Real quick, guys, and like again, my politics on this whole thing. I'm not pro-Palestine. Like everybody's always like, you're critical of Israel. You must, free Palestine. And I'm like, nah, dog. That's not how this works on this channel.
And the thing is that he's not, and I understand where the guy is coming from, because if you go and you look at the information, it's real fun. If you guys go to my channel and you look at like debunking Grok, debunking AI, if you put those things in there, what these AI features and what the news does is, number one, it got discovered that the news is directly pulling in information from the Gaza Health Ministry, the Al-Quds brigades, the PIJ, Hamas, right? Yeah. Is who they're pulling this information directly from. So they're linking these out. And this was admitted. And that they were directly parroting, going directly from the terrorist organizations. And that's what's been hitting mainstream media. So subsequently, that's also what's been hitting, your Twitter feed or whatever the hell it is you look at, right?
Well, and Matt, this is a good point because we talked about this before we started. The reason why I don't believe anything that comes out of this area ever is, I mean, I'm sure that it was like this when you were in Afghanistan. We would go out, we would do hits, you know, we would smoke 40, 50 people. The next morning, we would watch them on ISR, come, collect, take pictures, like strip off all the AKs, strip off all the weapons, take pictures of everybody that was KIA. And then that morning on Al Jazeera, we would see it because it would
it
would show that our ODA went out and, you know, murdered a bunch of innocent women and children. Time we did.
Nate, I will do you one better with CNN. In 2016, my buddy's ODA got tore up. A couple guys on the team ended up getting killed. I'm in the hospital with my buddy. He had just came out of surgery. He died multiple times. He had gotten shot through both of his legs. The captain ended up getting killed on the team. All right. He ended up getting shot through both of his legs, took one to the arm, and he had a grenade shot on his hip.
What year?
Lowered 2016.
2016. Okay.
Grenade lowered off of his hip from a PKM round. Even with all of that, my buddy still managed to freaking canoe this dude's forehead, right? He just comes out of surgery. Everybody's leaving. He's still covered in blood. Ended up kicking the command team out the room, sat in a chair up next to his bed, and he's passed out, coming in and out of the drugs from surgery. Up on the TV screen on CNN, U.S. Special Forces kill 80 civilians.
Yep. Every time.
U.S. Special Forces kill 80 civilians all over the TV screen. And I will be damned if they didn't send down an attorney, because he was the warrant on the team. So he's the 2 IC and the captain's dead. And he didn't even know the guys had died. I had to break that crap to him in the middle of the damn night.
Yeah.
And pardon me. And I'll be damned if they did not send a frickin' they opened up a frickin' investigation and they sent some poor frickin' lieutenant down.
Yep.
And this frickin' lieutenant tries to come in and question my buddy as he's laying in, as he's in and out of sleep at 2 a.m. because the shit hit CNN. You're talking a couple hours after this dude coming out of surgery, still on narcs and everything else. I told that dude to kick rock so frickin' fast it wasn't even funny. He slithered his way in to that hospital room when I left to go grab breakfast in the morning. I didn't want to. My buddy was like, dude, take a break, go eat. He slithered his way in and still got kicked out. This is what pisses me off.
And this is not rare to me and you. And again, it doesn't, my personal feelings about this conflict is irrelevant to what I watched, for the actual propaganda. They are amazing at propaganda. And I've said this over and over again about the Islamic groups. They're fantastic. They are fucking good.
Some of it's really good. Some of it's
propaganda. They are. They did it to us all the time. Because you would literally next morning watch this stuff on Al Jazeera and be like, oh, that's our ODA. I didn't realize that we unalived 30 kids last night.
I'd watch my buddies get shot and pop up on Al Jazeera the next day.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that, for me, that's why I'm any reporting that comes out of this shit, I immediately am all right, not interested. Not interested. I just, whether it could be true, it could be not true. Not gonna do it. All right, let's move. Let's keep moving. All right, MT. By the way, they're still gonna call you an Israel shill. They call me that, dude. There's people in the chat. There's literally, Matt. I swear to God, I joked about
your unsubs tonight are gonna be through the roof. The amount of people that unsub.
Nah. I've had videos I've done where I get called a pro-Israel shill, and then I get called a utter anti-Semite in the exact same video comment section. So it's I can't win. Nobody can win, right?
I believe on being honest, and so I'll go through times where I crap on the Biden administration, and I've crapped on the Trump administration, depending on what's happening at the time. And it's funny because when they're making really poor decisions, which Biden, there wasn't a lot of good decisions he made, right? And it affected, there wasn't a lot, right? But when he would, I'd recognize it, be like, that's actually not a bad call, you know. But Trump was doing a lot of really good things until he shook hands with Giuliani, old Al Qaeda, friends with al-Baghdadi, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, motherfucker, lost it. And went off on him. You're freaking leftist bastard. Nope.
No, I think I just, as a critical thinker, I just look at things objectively as they come, right? And I'm not going to be tribalist. The things that make sense, they make sense. All right, Blake Destins, how can a news outlet not find this stuff about the guy isn't research part of the job? Well, why do you think they can't find any? It's not that they can't find anything about this stuff. It's all over Twitter. It's there. They don't want to find it.
They don't want
It
to.
doesn't fit the narrative.
That statement that got put out by Tony's attorney came out the day before Tucker actually dropped the episode.
Also, Matt, here's the thing, and I do want to get into Tucker on this. I have been a Tucker fan for a long time, but over the last couple months, and this isn't because of his stuff with anti-Israel. I don't give a fuck about that. It's just I'm watching him platform people that are. It's just like Rob O'Neill the other day. Why the fuck was Rob O'Neill platformed to tell his bullshit story everybody knows is fake? Fucking 3, 4, 10 years later, everybody knows it's fake. And then you platform this dude who a simple fucking Twitter search would have found, oh, this guy's a fucking woman beating fucking liar.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? I don't know. Maybe that's a conversation. And I'm a Tucker fan. Again, I just am confused at what the fuck is going on right now.
I'm not a huge Tucker fan, especially like this year. He's gone straight into the freaking tank, to be honest. You know, like he just has.
It's like from a journalistic, you're way more of a journalist than me. I'm a fucking entertainer shit talker, but like from a journalistic standpoint, you're supposed to do your due diligence on who you platform. Not that you don't platform them. I have no problem with that, but like you should give some context to like, hey, this guy who is going to make these are huge claims that he's making, right? Like that he eyewitnessed straight up war crimes in front of him. And then it turns out like, oh, well, maybe he's got some issues.
You think?
All right, let's get through these. We got a bunch of these. We got to fucking start rapid firing. All right, Heavy Mall Mercenary, $10 for now. It seems us Rangers don't have a Tim Kennedy-like persona. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And remember, Rangers lead the way. 175. You have less. You definitely have less than we do. I'll give Rangers credit on that. There's not as many. What's Tonto Peranto? Yeah, he's one of your.
Okay, but can we be honest about the dudes from Ranger Regiment? Like, can we be honest about their persona for a minute? I mean, I got love for the Rangers. You know, I really do.
Oh, Matt's about.
I got love for, but you can't tell me they're not some of the most like stuck up freaking dudes on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, not to be a dick, but like, can we be honest about this for a sec? Like, y'all are some of like the biggest freaking like chest out, like, and I get it, man, but y'all remind me of like boot Marines. Like just brand new freaking jarheads.
Here you go. You guys have Nick Irving and Tonto Peranto. So you got some bullshitters in your group too.
I can play a video by Nick Irving and a buddy of mine that'll make you really embarrassed, bud. Really embarrassed.
Yeah, everybody knows we're not big Nick Irving fans on this channel, but whatever. We'll keep moving, right? The third deviation, $10. Thank you guys for being a counter narrative to Tucker's nonsense. Again, man, I'm a Tucker fan. I have supported Tucker on everything forever, and this is my point to you guys, is that when someone like me, who has been outspoken against this, goes, what the fuck is going on? That should clue you in to maybe this is not great information, right? That's all I'm saying. How did you verify the texts are authentic? Because the UG Solutions literally put all these out.
By the company's attorney. The company attorney dropped.
It's a huge legal thing going on, guys. This isn't from me. I didn't leak those. Those are from the attorneys. Panzer Crusade, $5. Not a fan of Israel, but my dad had cancer and almost died, but God gave me a miracle. No sympathy for faking cancer. Yeah, of course, dude. Absolutely. Not gonna lie, this is weak. Unaliving kids and starving civilian populace is still worse. Sure. I guess, but like, are these two things connected?
Let me show something real quick while he says that. Because I actually put it out this morning, and I like to share information because I think information is valid. What I'm about to share you is a photograph from a World Food Program humanitarian aid convoy. That guy's just tired, apparently. I'm just throwing that out there. He's just tired. You know, his buddies are just helping him off the truck. He fell asleep. So this guy, and so this guy. They're all just tired. Now, what you can't see on that screen because it's pulled back is a bunch of people laying down. Now, the IDF is nowhere near those humanitarian aid convoys. Nowhere near. Nowhere. Who do you suppose shot these guys? Who do you suppose made them so tired as they were looting this truck?
I don't know. I would guess Hamas if I had to guess.
Weird. But... Now, who do you think those deaths get pinned on by the Gaza Health Ministry?
Yeah.
Who do you think, because again, critical thinking is key. in this world, right? I can pull up video after video after video that Hamas, the Al-Quds brigades, the PIJ have put out to where they're just leaning like 107 Katyushas off rocks, sandbags, etc., and they're shooting them at the IDF inside of Gaza. How accurate do you think those are, and how many people do you think they've killed with those?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like us getting like fucking those sled rockets sent at us from the mountains of Afghanistan.
Right, dude. But I mean, even more so, you watch, my favorite is watching their mortar videos. You're a Bravo, right?
No, everybody thinks that.
No,
I was like,
Were you an Echo?
bro. That's the funniest thing, dude. That's the running joke is always like, oh yeah, that dude's a Bravo. No, just because I'm retarded and tattooed and giant does not mean I'm a Bravo. I was 18 Echo.
So you watch them. Well, you appreciate it anyway. So you watch them shoot their mortars, man, and you just watch them just like sending 10 rounds at a time with a fresh setup tube, and you just watch the tube like slowly rock back.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
yeah.
No, they're schwacking people left and right with their own munitions, and nobody ever calls them out on it. It's freaking sad.
Here's the thing, man. It's like
12 to 15,000 estimated.
It's all, dude. It's fucking. It's a war zone. Are women and children getting fucking slaughtered? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Is it horrible? Yep. Do I want it to stop? Yep. Does that mean necessarily that the IDF is the ultimate bad guy and Hamas is the ultimate good guy? You can't convince me of that. I'm sorry. No. Like, I've dealt with terrorist organizations just like you have, and you know. All right, keep it moving. Smokey Sergeant, $20. Thank you, brother, or to whoever that was, me or Matt. Very generous. Salute, brother. Trying to cope. All right, Kangaroo Bot, what's up, brother? Hey, Nate, random question. When are you going to share with your demos from your DJ days? Oh, shit, dude. I could do that. We pulled up a bunch of my old fucking DJ stuff a while back. We can get into that at some time. Maybe on the Patreon. All right, Sky God, $65, dude. All right. Sky God. Very generous. A great show. 50-15. There's a split? Oh, you can split the demos, dude. That's dope. All right. From Speak the Truth and Valhalla Split, unbiased viewer. Appreciate you, brother. Very generous. Daniel Lyons, $6 shout out from Gaza. 5th recall. If you're in Gaza and you're watching this? Hell yeah, dude.
You just got paid by Israel. I saw the symbol. That's
it. It's over, dude. I'm all right. Hey,
Matt, you can't say you haven't been paid by Israel now. The Jews just paid you. Both Sky God
watching, cut the fucking check, dude. Here's the thing. Like, I can be paid off. If you cut me a fat enough check, I will go so pro-Israel instantly. You guys have no idea, right? That's how you know Nate's not getting paid by AIPAC is like, I will. If you guys pay me enough. I need a new house, brother. I'm trying to buy a house in Texas. Cut the check, AIPAC. All right, Smokey Sergeant, $10. Agreed. Tucker's definitely screwing the pooch as of late. He and his staff already several lacking on background, and his quest topics are becoming dramatic. I think so too, man. It's just like I am a fan of the guy, but I have to wonder when you platform guys I know are total liars and shitbags, and you let them spout their bullshit with zero pushback.
What are you doing with your life?
I don't like that.
Yep.
All right, Smoke Sergeant again, $10. I actually have to say recon Marines are the most egotistical. Like Force Recon. One of my favorite, one of my teammates, rest in peace. We lost him, unfortunately, 3 years ago. Was a recon Marine, and he was probably the most humble guy I've ever met in my entire life. But I mean, who knows? Marines can be. All right, we got to the last one. All right, John Hanish, $5. The text you showed were a screenshot from Substack. Yes, because that's from a giant Substack article from someone I know personally. Yes, and they are from the legal team from Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. So yeah, it's because Substack, the article was written with everything documented in it. He didn't like randomly produce those on his own, guys. However, I can tell you the guy who wrote the Substack fucking worked with the guy we're talking about. Okay. So, literally worked with him. Okay. So he might not want me to have said that, but this isn't some random fucking guy. I also, Matt, it's so crazy. I saw that Substack article on Twitter. Everybody's look at this fake Green Beret account.
It's not actually. So when he first came out, so I was there when he first came out. I talked to him, verified him through my own. Then I got reached out to by the Stolen Valor account, asking me about him. Now, Stolen Valor actually background checks all of us without even saying a damn thing. He had background checked me without me even knowing it.
Of course.
And then he went over and he asked me to grab his information, and then he reached out to him. I was like, yes, he's legit as far as I know from my conversations, everything I've had with him, from what I know. Yes, he is a legitimate human being backed up by my own people. And then he ran it. So Stolen Valor himself, it's not an anonymous GB account. The reason he's an anonymous GB account, to my knowledge, is he's still on active duty.
Yep. Correct.
So that's why he's anon.
Yeah, I'm also friends with guys that know him personally. So yes, he is not a fake Green Beret. Relax. Also, he wouldn't have had all this information if he was a fake Green Beret. That's just not how our community works. You can't be a random non-Green Beret and pull all this information. All right, now let's keep moving. Back into the lies. Why not? Huh? So here we go. After sending that super, I don't know, sympathy-driven, please forgive me response that was all lies. He says, you know, Mo, I like you. This doesn't have to be this way. I can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. Stop fucking around. Put me back to work. Let's get this mission done. 1, I don't have to leave Israel. I'm on a tourist visa, period. 2, I have met so many people here that are on my side. I can stay anywhere. This is very important that we're going to talk about, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, we've got to talk about this.
Yeah. I have met so many people here that are on my side. I can stay anywhere in Israel rent free. We can talk, figure this shit out, make a mission succeed. As a team, if we continue this petty bullshit, as I stated, I like you, you're a good dude. If you want to play games, we can play games. And then I love the response. Tony, I'm only going to say this once. Stop. So I love this, Matt, because when he says, I don't have to leave Israel. I'm here on a tourist visa, period. No, he was kicked out, literally kicked out of Israel, for 1. But 2, when he says, I've met so many people that are on my side, I can stay anywhere I want in Israel rent-free. To me, that kind of feels like you're the IDF's best friend. Now, why would the IDF be best friends with you if you are telling people that the IDF is committing war crimes? That seems very, very odd. It's almost like you were on board with everything that was happening, and then you got fired, and you all of a sudden had some stories to tell that maybe weren't true. What's your feelings on that?
So here's my feelings on that. He was in Israel/Gaza for a total of about 30 days. He was inside Gaza. He was inside Gaza.
No, you're right. He was fired after 14, and they let him stay there until they could get him out of the country.
But he spent 2 weeks in a hotel, from what I've been told.
Yes.
Over inside Israel. So I don't know what friends this guy made, but the other thing is, if he's talking about staying with people rent free over there, kind of makes me wonder. Like, I don't know if he's currently married, but I think he said he was married, right? If I was his wife, I might want to look into that.
So, caveat: the wife that he put in the hospital is his ex-wife, obviously.
No. When he was doing an interview the other day, I watched.
No, I'm just saying for context, when we talk about the wife he beat the shit out of, that is his ex-wife. I don't know what's happened since then.
Strachan. I'm pretty sure he has a current one, because on one of his interviews, the guy was like, well, we really appreciate your wife for letting us do this. And he was like, yeah, of course. Now, the guy could be lying, because we've caught him in about half a dozen other ones already, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I mean, maybe he was banging an Israeli chick while he was over there. And that's what he's talking about.
That wouldn't be that rare for our guys, would it?
I'm just saying, you know, I really don't think he's been a lot of really good friends with a lot of Israeli soldiers over there with the mentality that he has. I really don't think that's the case. I think he went over there. I actually think he went over there with an agenda. That's like Matt's opinion. I think he went over there with an agenda.
Well, this is an interesting conversation I think we should get into, Matt, because I do actually kind of agree with you here. I would typically not necessarily get on board with this, but the way he talks on the Tucker Carlson episode, the way he frames, especially when he's talking about the little boy, and he's talking about things like this poor, frail little boy, he walks up to me, right? And I feel the bones in his hand, and he puts his hands out, and he kisses me on the hand, and you guys don't know. I'm listening to that, and I'm like, Green Berets don't fucking talk like this, dude.
No.
Ever. Like, we're fucking kind of knuckle draggers a lot of the time. And everything felt coached. The whole thing felt coached to me. I don't know if, and again, maybe I'm wrong, right? But
did you see his first one with the BBC?
No,
it's almost verbatim what he told the BBC.
Okay.
And like, I hate to use this as an example, but I want you to go and look at, go rewind to the story that I said about, my buddy being in the hospital, where I had to take a pause. And I want you to compare that
Right.
to
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
told Tucker.
Yep.
And
No,
you take
get it.
actual emotions and you tell me that he was telling the freaking truth.
No, I noticed that too when there's a point where like he like fake gathers himself. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost like he's trying to draw up some fake emotion that he can't quite get out. And the question then is like again, this is me and Matt speculating that he's been coached by some ulterior motive. Could be, could not be. I think most likely here's my, you want to hear my theory on this guy and this whole thing. My theory is he got the job, he did the contracting thing, he fucks it up, he gets fired immediately. And I think he thinks, and I could be wrong because there could be some coaching involved. I think he thinks that he's going to use this as an opportunity, given the current anti-Israel climate, that he can now sort of sell this bullshit story and launch himself as a voice in the, social media Green Beret community with this story. That's kind of like what I felt like this whole thing was.
Well, he got
maybe there's some ulterior, like this guy's getting paid by whoever. I don't know. But what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on this, Nate, like I got asked this weekend. I got asked this weekend if I would, a couple different news stations, right? And somebody had brought up money to pay me to go on them. And I have not one time I've done a news interview, and I've done plenty. Not one time that I've done a news interview have I agreed to take a single freaking dime from them.
You can't. Yeah.
Because I never, ever want somebody to question the words that are coming out of my mouth as some sort of ulterior motive. I lose followers all the time. I gain followers all the time. I don't really care. I say what I think, and I say what I believe the truth to be.
Yeah, I 100% believe you. Just because I don't agree with what you think does not mean that I don't think you generally think that on your own accord.
I've got a feeling that he went in there with an agenda. This is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have them.
Yep.
I think he went in there with an agenda. I really do.
Do you think that agenda was his own, or was he supported in it?
I think he went in there with this sole purpose.
But on his own accord, or on behalf of a...
On his own accord. And I think he had mentioned that he's going to do, like, it's very possible that he could have been collaborating with people like the BBC.
Yeah.
Right. That's
news reporter, what I'm asking,
his name, but he's got a really shady history. Look at that news reporter that he did the very first interview with. He's got a really shady history. And then all of a sudden you see this guy getting launched so rapidly. How do you go from that interview to Tucker Carlson to Bernie Sanders?
Dude, isn't that crazy?
All of those things, like that rapidly, that you're going out and doing that. And I'll tell you, like, I schedule my interviews. Like, sometimes I'll do them like the following day. Sometimes there's something that's like huge. I'll end up jumping on it right away. But what, generally speaking, you end up doing is you get time that you're going to be on there. You get the specific things that they want to go over. If, like, there's never a script for me, right? It's like how long, what time, and what are the talking points. That's it. Like, that's what you get. And when you look at this, it seems to be like a very scripted narrative pushing a very specific story.
That's how I felt.
Based on a bunch of lies. And so when I, like, everything he came out with, like, is all lies so far. And so the only thing that's left to question when we look at this is the statement of whether or not, number one, the tank shot a civilian vehicle. And number two, whether or not everybody, like, whether or not they just opened up on this poor child and killed him.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's huge.
I mean, have you had children get killed, like, during your operations?
Yes,
like,
unfortunately.
How did your team react?
Well,
they wereren't happy about it, were they?
I
bet you saw grown men crying, didn't you?
Well,
I bet you saw grown men crying.
Hold on. That Force Recon Marine, my teammate, one of my best friends who I was just talking about, unfortunately, killed an ISIS fighter who had a 1-year-old strapped to his chest, and he committed suicide afterwards because of it. So yes, that is
I'm
the reality.
Right now, I have seen an entire team in freaking tears.
Of course. It's horrible.
There is not a snowball's chance in hell that of all those pipe hitters out there, that everybody would have been okay with doing that, painting them like savages like that.
No. Absolutely not. Not American soft dudes. No way.
You would hear about that at this point. Somebody would have came forward at this point and said, this is valid. I saw this shit happen. Yeah, he might be a POS, but this was wrong and it's continuing to happen.
Is something like that happening in Gaza? I don't know. Could be.
I have no doubt there's war crimes taking place.
I bet it is.
Yes, I have no doubt that people are doing the wrong thing sometimes.
So
or
this
that make
well, this is where I was going with this. I do believe that's happening. Let me be very clear. I believe that is happening. Do I believe that is happening in the presence of a bunch of American former soft dudes? No. No, I don't. You can't convince me of that. There's no fucking way, dude, that you can take 10, 20 of our guys and slaughter a bunch of kids in front of them and they all keep quiet and don't say anything. Bullshit, dude. Bullshit. There's no fucking way.
Nate, I literally had this exact conversation with somebody last night. There's not a snowball's chance in hell. Somebody would have said something at this point.
Yeah. Well, from the American side of things, the contracting side of things, right? Again, outside of that, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend like I know. But I don't believe that American soft dudes are just watching children get slaughtered and they're like, good, bro. Like, no. You're not paying those dudes enough for that, first of all. And to your point, that's not, it's also, it's also sort of a slap in the face to our community to suggest that, right? That like our community has such little integrity that you could put 20 of us in an area like that and you could just slaughter women and children aimlessly. And we're just like, yeah, cool, dude. Like, fuck, absolutely not. Look at the backlash Tim Kennedy got for lying about saying he killed women and kids. He got absolutely destroyed by our community for lying about it.
And if you were on, and here's the other thing about this too, if you're on the pro-Palestinian side of this and you think the IDF's the devil, great. But what you're doing right now by like trying to stand up for this guy is you're shitting on the contractors. Like you got two reputable human beings sitting here that are telling you it's bullshit. And when I gave you those figures, earlier, 655% more humanitarian aid is being given out by those contractors than the freaking UN's World Food Program. And by him spreading that false narrative, you know what you're doing? You're starving those damn people, which I also don't agree with.
Yeah, no, fuck no. Yeah. All right. But we're not even done with this dude's lies. Okay. So let's jump back into it, because what he did was, after he realizes that he is not going to be rehired, that he is fired actually fired, he backdates a memorandum stating a big diatribe of why he resigned, and he backdates it to, it's something like 2 weeks before he was fired. Right. The problem was, and this Matt, I believe, was the memorandum that sort of launched him being able to go on all these like BBC and Tucker and everything.
Correct.
The problem was
on July 21st, I believe.
They pulled the metadata of this memo and realized that no, he didn't write it when he did. He fabricated the entire thing and again lied about resigning.
He dated it.
He was just straight up fired.
He dated it in like May or something, but the document was created according to the metadata on July 21st.
May 28th, he enters country. He doesn't have access to a computer or internet for multiple days. He gets fired 2 weeks later. He then fakes a memorandum. He puts the original resign date sometime shortly after May, but then the metadata shows that he wrote it July 21st, which is what? 10 days ago?
Right.
So
right before he started appearing.
So again, when you're talking about lies, guys, more lies. All right. And then as we scroll down into here, this is where it gets crazy. I want to pull up this email because this email is 3 days ago. So this is after he's pretty much hit the podcast scene, right? And GHF has obviously come out and refuted it with their lawyers and shown all of this shit to everybody that he was doing. This email, Matt, I don't know. Have you seen this email?
Yeah, I read it and I don't remember what it says. There's so much BS.
It's absolutely insane. The level of his narcissism and everything that he's doing. All right. So again,
that's right. Now I remember.
He sends this email basically to GHF, I believe. Like, what is this, 3 days ago? So he says, gentlemen, I watched the press conference live today. I'm flattered. 14 and a half minutes from GHF, dedicated just to me. Pretty cool. Thanks for showing all your cards. The media and the press don't believe you because they have the documents, the videos, the pictures, and the testimony from other former contractors. First of all, I haven't heard of anything else from other contractors. You think this is just me? Get serious. Then he says, I lost it. Hold on a second. Shit, what'd I do? There we go. He says a few things to consider. Number 6 is most important. I am demanding that you retract your comment on Amir. Your photo comparison is misleading. It's libel. It's defamation and slimy and racist. You're saying all Palestinians look alike. According to you, wow, you lied. It comes across very, very insensitive. Read the details. Also, you just admitted and verified war crimes on record. Myself and prosecutors from the ICC watched it. We were aghast. More on that below. I would recommend reading the protocols from the Geneva Convention, which the U.S. is signatory to, and the humanitarian law and information law or international law today. You admitted to those violations. I don't know. All right. So that's sort of the background of this.
What day did he say he quit? The 28th?
So he claims I believe he claims that he quit 2 weeks after May 28th, which would have put him around like July 10th ish. I don't know the exact date, but it's kind of around them. It's at the 2 week mark when he was fired. That's when he's claiming he resigned. When he put the memo out that said that day, they pulled the metadata and showed that he filled it out July 21st, which was well after he had already left country, been kicked out of Israel, was no longer even there. That like he made this memo when he was already back in country and then backdated it.
Do you have the ability to blow me up big screen?
I should be able to, yeah.
I would like to read this signal chat.
Yeah, hold on, I can do it right here.
Now, for all of the hate that he says, now this comes from the attorneys over at GHF. This is one of his like sit reps they ended up blasting out. I want you guys to think, does this sound like a bunch of murderous contractors to you? Daily Impact. This is May 29, and then other ones going through May 31. These are his daily sit reps. To date, at the end of D+2, you have delivered and distributed 318 tons of humanitarian aid to a starving and displaced population that equals 14,806 family boxes of life-saving aid. You have fed 81,433 people with 3 days of food so far, and we are just getting started. Your efforts have brought families back together and have severely weakened the image of Hamas. Sentiment in the media, despite whatever other people may think about the politics of the situation, your presence is seen as a good thing. If you were on SDS-1 yesterday or SDS-3 today, you've seen it with your own eyes. Key right there, huh? Tomorrow, in just 1 day of distribution, we will deliver an additional 143 tons of aid. It is a privilege and an honor to see America's best doing America's most important work in places most Americans will only ever see on TV or read about.
Yeah. Doesn't sound negative. Seems like they were kind of doing some good things.
Sounds like they're doing God's work and feeding hungry people.
According to that.
According to his own distro. And
right.
It's a signal chat titled GGLNOs.
All right,
his own sit-reps.
This next part is where we get just the level of narcissism becomes extremely apparent, right? So he says, listen to this, Matt. Would you ever say this about yourself? To discredit my courage or not be able to handle Gaza on the mission is laughable. I'm a 25-year Army vet. This sounds like Tim Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
I'm a 25-year Army veteran, Ranger, Green Beret, West Point graduate, commanded from the platoon level. Let me talk to you about that once we get done. Command from the platoon level to the battalion level, deploying to combat at every level of command, wounded in combat, and a Purple Heart recipient. And here's where I said, Matt, remember when he said he had a Silver Star and multiple?
Yeah, I remember. That's where it came from. That's why I didn't even
all of a sudden now where does his Silver Star and his second Purple Heart? Where'd those go? I don't know. Purple Heart recipient, a Bronze Star for Valor in Combat. CIB, look those up. Can't handle Gaza? Come on. That's your angle. I have over 6 years in accumulated combat time. I'd like to look into that claim.
I'm kind of curious about that one.
That's 12 combat bars on my right sleeve. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Southeast Asia, Central Asia. You know what's interesting is he talks about all this time in Asia. And then I've asked probably a dozen of my buddies and commanders from first group, and no one has heard of this guy. So I'm not sure how he spent all this time in Asia. Very interesting. P.S. My wife also served in the Army as a career officer. Okay, my wife. So this is new. This is a new wife because it's not that. I told you. It's not the one that he beat the shit out of in 2021. And she was a public affairs officer deployed to combat. She thinks your antics, well, first of all, why would they give a fuck what his wife thinks? Weird. She thinks your antics in the PAO space are incompetent, and she's been doing it far longer than you have.
Well, if you break it down from
which America would respect, you're attacking me, which America doesn't respect. Ooh, the level of fucking narcissism in that paragraph is.
Who the hell drags their wife into an argument like that? Number one, right? Like, I'm sorry your wife was a PAO, but here's, in my opinion, why he did it. This is why I think he ended up dragging his wife in there, and why he puts all of that stuff out there, is because that, with, like, in his mind, that's what's beefing him up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of like, look at who I am.
Right.
But he still doesn't believe his own crap. And so the only person that's likely going to vouch for him, who is his wife, he throws into the mix, who really didn't need to be in there.
No, she had no business being in that paragraph.
And in my opinion, maybe she needs to, I don't know, look into who is willing to put him up in their house in Israel. Just saying.
Also, Matt, let's what does he say here? That he commanded men at every level in combat. That's an interesting claim, because I looked into you, Mr. Tony Aguilar. You never held a company commander position in SF. Not only did you never hold a company commander position in SF, you not
an operational one. I did hear a rumor that he possibly held some command element over at SWIC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If that's what we're calling a company commander.
I've just thrown it out there.
Yeah. No, that's not fair. For nuance and semantics.
And
but Matt, he says in combat. His statements are he commanded at every level in combat. The SWIC's not combat.
Maybe SWIC deployed, man. I mean, GWAT, man. We were hurt, like, All
right. But then at the battalion level,
like 3 times, and we didn't kick him out.
At the battalion level, that's interesting that you said you commanded at the battalion level, because you didn't command at the battalion level. You had to go be a commander at 18th Airborne Corps HHC, because there was no position for you in SF. And that is the unit that you were relieved from cause for beating the shit out of your wife. So no, you didn't lead men at every level in combat, for as far as I can see, and you probably only led men at the team leader level in combat. So again, not that there's anything, and this is the crazy thing, Matt, is like, guys like this, he's got a good enough resume now, outside of his transgressions. On paper, he's got a good enough resume, right? You have a Bronze Star Medal with Valor, you're a lieutenant colonel, you've got a Purple Heart. Like, you would think that's good enough, but it's not. It is, but not for him, because then he has gone out and fucking lied about all this crazy shit, which, I'm sorry, all of you in the chat are like, well, we have to believe him anyway because it's Israel. Fuck this guy, dude. I'm tired of fucking Green Berets who are fucking liars and grifters, lying about their careers and lying about their awards to build some bullshit public persona for. We're not gonna fucking allow it. I don't care what your feelings on Israel are. This guy is not getting a fucking pass from me because he's a fucking liar. Am I wrong on this? Am I crazy? Like, is this? Because I see in the chat they're like, well, we gotta listen to him because he's anti-Israel, and it's like,
you can listen to him. Listen, you can listen to him, but you also have to think about it. I don't take a damn thing anybody tells me as a fact. I don't care if, like, what side it comes from in really anything. There's very few cases where that might be. But this is the problem with the world today, is nobody's doing their own dang due diligence, and everybody just turns around and parrots the same crap over and over and over again. Nobody, like you said, I'm trying to build critical thinkers on my channel. Look at the data. Look at what's in front of you, right? And the data for this guy is not to be trusted.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, there's nothing about this guy that screams, I should believe what he has to say. Let me preface. Maybe everything he's saying is true. I don't believe that personally. But everything about him screams pathological narcissistic liar. And when you have, we know, pathological narcissistic liars who start all of a sudden, like you mentioned, Matt, out of nowhere, or on Tucker Carlson's podcast.
Right.
Well,
who we know didn't do his damn due diligence.
Well, and that's another thing too. Matt, let me ask you this, because this is what confuses me, obviously, with Tucker and this whole situation. You have Tucker Carlson, who is super pro, like Qatar, right? Qatar Carlson, everybody makes fun of him. But then you also have this movement into anti-Israel, but like lightly, right? It's not like the full it's not like the Nick Fuentes anti. It's like this light sort of like veiled new sort of thing, but also super
like,
pro. But Qatar isn't inherently anti-Israel, as far as I understand it. So like, what exactly? Because you know about this, you cover this stuff way more than I do. Again, I'm kind of just a shit talker. What exactly is happening here with the movement of someone like Tucker to be like, I'm pro Qatar, but I'm anti-Israel, even though Qatar and Israel are sort of
money. Yeah, who owns Al Jazeera? Qatar.
Okay.
So let's start here. Money, in my opinion, money. You have 2 billion Muslims on this planet, and you have 17 million Jews, roughly. What do you think the vast narrative that's going to be pushed on social media? Where do you think the bulk of the money to platform these people is going to come from? Right. And you could say that the Jews run the world and they've got all this crap. It's just simply not the case. Right. It's really not. You can bring up AIPAC. I've gone back and forth on AIPAC quite a bit. But at the end of the day, the vast majority of your money that's going into the propaganda and media space on this is coming from the Muslim side of the house. If we're going to be perfectly honest, 2 billion versus 17 million. That's a huge difference. And so even when you talk about, let's say you're not even getting paid to go on media, you're just talking about different things I'm blasting out online. If I pick that pro-Palestinian side, how much more money do you think they stand to make on that? Significant. Guys like you who's going to take a neutral stance and say, screw everybody, I still hate terrorists, America first.
Yeah.
You're kind of in like this little weird space.
Right.
Guys like me, I'm in a completely and totally different space. Those people that take that stance stand to make a buttload more. And if you look at like the amount of like clicks, likes, views, and stuff like that, I can go put out a freaking, even on my own account right now, I guarantee you, I've actually done it before. Like that video that I told you about with the Nazi flag. You know what I'm talking about? That one with the Nazi flag. I actually made a video out of it and I cut it down because it's hilarious. And I was like, look at the Zionist tank coming in and going into freaking Palestine, rolling on Jenin and blah, 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 you know, and like actually like sold it, you know, and then like I stopped and I cut and it zoomed in on the Nazi flag. There was a bunch of dudes that follow me were like, you freaking like, you know, like whatever, you know, that were like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? I even had this like big time pastor like jump in there. He's like, bro, what the hell? Like he like lost his mind on it. Do you know how many shares it got though from the other side of the house? Because nobody even finished watching the video. They read the headline and they ended up sharing it. And the amount of like Muslim followers and pro-Palestinian followers and all of that I got off that one video. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's for me, I don't get any of that money from either fucking side. Cause I'm like, again, I'm the America first, fuck everybody. But it is a good point of, and I say this all the time because people are like, oh, you're critical of Israel, so you're pro-Islam. I'm like, oh, you're out of your fucking mind if you believe that as a Green Beret. But the entire point of this, like with this episode and with this dude, is it doesn't matter what side you're on. Me and Matt are on different camps to this issue, and you've listened to this for what, an hour and a half, where we've pretty much been lockstep on this dude, on everything about this dude. Because I don't care, just because, let's say you're a free Palestine person. If you want to be that, fucking rock on. Okay, cool. But truth should still matter to you. And right. And if you want to bash on Israel for the shitty things they're doing, which I do think the IDF is doing a lot of shitty things, you should at least do it for truth of what's actually happening. Because when you go down this road of Islamic propaganda, and we talked about it earlier, they're fucking good at it, guys. And this is why I'm always hesitant to, again, everybody's like, you got to really be harder. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking believe whatever story you put out. I'm not going to believe this story from, again, this wife abusing fucking stolen valor, fake silver star winning fucking Green Beret, because he said that he watched the IDF slaughter a bunch of children in front of him, but yet no one else is coming to his defense, and no pictures were taken and no videos were taken, even though everybody in the area had cameras. You in the chat, does that sound fucking realistic to you? Does that story sound like, does that pass the smell test? That's my thing, Matt. Does the story pass the smell test?
It doesn't. It doesn't pass the smell test.
Slaughtering children in front of a bunch of Americans with cameras, but yet there's no photo of it.
That doesn't pass the smell test. And here's the other thing too. Who do you think's picking up those bodies? Right? Like, who do you think's dealing with that? And all that crap's gonna have to be documented. And where's the Palestinians that documented that one? You know, they seem to catch Israel doing all this other dirty shit. And that's the other thing.
Also, Matt, where's the videos from the Islamic side?
That's what I'm saying. That's precisely what I'm saying. Where are the Palestinian videos on this subject? And if that's what they're doing, why are they going back day after day?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Let's just ask the very common sense question. If Israel's outside of these like humanitarian sites with tanks and the contractors are mowing down kids, why do they continuously come back day after day? Why did they stand there when Steve Witkoff was over there today with Ambassador Huckabee and cheer when the camera turned their way?
Yeah.
These are critical thinking questions that
you got me on that one.
Human being should ask.
No, you got me on that one. I that's, again, that's a good point. And that's kind of my point earlier when I talked about like me being confused of like, wait, so there's Palestinians are just walking down the road and we're just machine gun firing people down, and that's just totally normal. And again, not to say there's not horrific things going on in Gaza. I believe that. And I don't think Matt is actually saying there's not either, as far as I know.
I've been saying that the whole time. Nobody listens to my show most of the time. Like a lot of people do, but not, whatever.
Yeah, but my point is like we should be factual about this, right? And then when you have somebody, again, it's just now when you brought this up earlier, this is what's sticking with me, and it keeps fucking popping in my head, is how this fucking guy went from nobody knew him to on Tucker Carlson in a fucking week. Bingo. Because you know what, Matt, me and you haven't been on Tucker Carlson. We're pretty well known in the fucking Green Beret space on social media. Nobody's fucking invited us on to talk about anything.
It was less than a week. I'm pretty sure I started driving, like I was in the car on Saturday when I got that message, and he was on Tucker on what, Wednesday? So he filmed on Tuesday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So within 3 days, he's on Tucker.
That's insane, dude.
Followed by Bernie? No, something's off there.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, because you and I know, like, the chat doesn't understand how this whole fucking ecosystem works. It's not that easy to just go on Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, even as a well-known person in the space. Nope. It's not how it works. There's usually, there's some, I don't even know how to say it, but like, you got to typically be well-known. You got to be invited. You got to like mingle. You got to get to know someone to get that invite. It's not just like, hey, get on here and tell crazy shit.
And here's the other thing too. They have other people that are stacked up for this stuff as well. Sunday, this last Sunday, I was on a phone call, two of them, Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones. Like, hey, might be getting you on Ben Shapiro, might be going on Alex Jones to like counter these two different narratives of like to be talking about these two other things.
Like getting
exactly. And the thing was like it was for Alex to present like the counter narrative, and it was for Ben to back up, like obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had already had their shit filled out and figured out and knew like what direction came out.
Where you're willing to chat tonight. Oh, we got stream freezing. We're back. You in the chat tonight, you have two different viewpoints who have agreed, have disagreed. Everything's coming back. That you do that for yourself. Take all this access to information, and me and Matt are not like, we're not fucking dipshits. Okay, and now I might look like one, but we do know quite a bit about this type of space, foreign conflict, the way these things work, contracting, like Matt talked about earlier. Does this tactically make sense for these type of things to be happening behind a berm and all
yeah,
this
and
shit?
if you don't think I know what I'm talking, you know who else was on that, like on one of those earlier calls as well that I was on Saturday when we were discussing all of these things? Guess who else was on this community call? Just to throw it out there, when it goes down to like the level of like the level, like John Spencer also on that phone call, and John Spencer sat there and just nodded, just didn't say a word, and I was like, oh, good, John, you're here. I was like, agree or disagree as I state these facts so we can just make this quick.
Hold on,
and
real
John's
quick.
just sitting there.
We're getting chat saying we're buffering. We're stuck.
Yeah, I was buffering, but now I'm back. It was giving me
fine.
spinnies, but now I'm back.
Hold on one sec. Let me try this.
Uh-oh. Oh, Nate, you just left me to run the show, and I appreciate it, man. Hey, everybody, welcome over to the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm your host for the day, Matt Tardio. Nate from ValhallaVFT.
Am I back?
Oh, God dang it, he's back.
We're back, boys. We're on a good rant there, too. Sorry, guys.
Dang. But no,
what
man.
I was saying there, guys, is me and Matt don't have to agree upon everything. As a critical thinker, I can listen to Matt and be like, huh, okay, the things he's saying, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, how's this fit in? And I'm going to make the decision for myself. And when he says things where I go, oh shit, I fucking didn't think about that. That's a good point. That should cue you into like, okay, I can reflect on this a little bit. Let me relook at this, rather than what most people do, and a lot of people in the chat do, and I see by the comments, go, this doesn't fit my narrative. I hate you. I don't believe these things. Shut up. Like, don't do that,
not
guys.
Have friends like that either. If you're surrounded by those people, get rid of them, man. You should be able to have a disagreement and a discussion and hear somebody's crap out, even if you don't agree with it, because you might learn something. Even if you know that they're wrong, listen to where they're coming from.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I think we got to get some fucking super chats. We were on a pretty good rant there. All right, let me find where we were at. Okay, here's my loyalty. Oh shit!
You got to read them all, Nate.
I think we got a shit ton we got to get through. What's that?
You got to read them all, Nate. You got to read them all. It's the super chat rule.
I know. I think we got a lot of them. John Hanna says it's from the people he's calling out. Alex Bacher Lubin, $10. You guys sound like. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is where we started. I love this. All right, you guys sound like some juiced up Nelk boys simping for Israel. Why don't you talk to someone like Hassan Piker, Bassem Youssef, Norm Finkelstein, or anything who has a pro-Palestine position? Here's the thing, bro.
You know what's his name?
Myron Gaines. Times. Go ahead, Matt.
Byron Gaines. I'm trying to remember that idiot's name. He wanted to debate me. He said, I will debate anybody, anywhere, anytime. He challenged me. I'm waiting.
There you go. And for me, sure, if you want to debate me, you know what my debate point is? Fuck everybody. I'm pro-America. So if you think I'm a juiced up Nelk boy simping for Israel, I've said 100 times, I don't give a fuck. This is probably going to get this demonetized. I don't give a fuck about Israel.
Oh, we were demonetized a long time ago, Nate.
Don't care. Couldn't care less. I said this, me and Matt talked about this before. They can fucking all slaughter each other in the entire region. I don't give a shit about any of them. Sorry, guys. But again, I will look at this specifically, objectively, and say, this fucking Green Beret is a fucking liar. Sorry. And I don't think just because me and Matt both agree that this woman beating, wife beating, lying piece of shit shouldn't be believed. If you want to believe him, guys, then okay, you do that. All right. Daniel Lyons, 60 something. I don't even know what this is. Looks pretty good. Here's to buy your loyalty on behalf of this 36th Reserve Division. All I can afford is 400 days. Again, man.
After 400 days, that's Israeli cash. You got paid by the Jews again.
Again, I'm telling you guys, like, I'm willing to simp for Israel. If they cash the fucking check, I'll get on board. I'll put I'll go full Matt. I'll put the full Israel flag back here. Sign the check. AIPAC has offered me nothing. I got a goddamn dime out of this thing yet. All right, quick question. Where does all this Jewish hate? Okay, this is a great one. Where's all this Jewish hate stem from? It's really religion. Forgive my ignorance. Here's my point, and I'll say this. Matt can take his take. Just because you are anti the government of Israel does not make you anti-Jew. I'm sorry. That is not a argument that you can make. I don't believe that. Matt, do you feel differently about that? You think that's fair?
There is Muslims that serve in the government over inside Israel. There is Muslims that serve inside of the Israeli Defense Force, as well as Christians.
Yeah.
If you don't like what Israel is doing, that doesn't make you anti-Jewish. If you have an anti-Semitic slur that happens to slip out from time to time, yeah, then we could talk about that.
Right.
But there's a difference.
Yeah.
If or you have Mein Kampf is reading material on your bedside or in your bathroom, sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're friends with Candace Owens, probably, right?
Yeah, Candace has been getting weird too. That's another one where I'm wondering
weird,
like what the hell's going on.
I used to respect that woman. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, Aaron Hill, $5. Hamas is terrible and no fan of Muslims, but it's nauseating to be stuck funding and supporting this. Yeah, I 100%. That's my take, man. Is I just don't, and Matt probably disagrees, but I just don't want to give any more fucking money to anybody. That's not America.
Here's a fun fact. Are you ready for this? The money that the United States gives to Israel is actually like earmarked for weapons. And what we actually do is it's essentially a discount. So that money has to be sent on like the U.S. industrial complex. And so it actually gets pumped right back into the country.
That's the way it always goes. Just like Ukraine, same shit. That's the other thing. Even though like me and Matt differ on this, I've always been super anti-Ukraine, not because I hated Ukraine, but simply because I don't want to give fucking money to anybody at all. But at the same time, people are like, we gave $200 billion to Ukraine. I'm like, no, we didn't give $200 billion to Ukraine. We gave $200 billion to the military industrial complex in America to send weapons to Ukraine. It's a little bit different, right? And you could disagree with that, which I do, but yeah, we're not just handing Israel cash. Alex Bakar, anti-Israel climate, aka, ooh, yeah. I mean, there's.
No, he's saying anti-general, anti-genocide climate. Is that what he's saying?
Well, yeah, he's saying people that are anti-Israel, it's because they're anti-genocide.
Oh, well, I mean, I can address that real quick. So let's just run these down real quick. So out of the 60,000 that the Gaza Health Ministry, who everybody knows is controlled by Hamas, that's a fact. But let's take their figures as fact because this is a fun breakdown. And I think people
I wouldn't do that, but even
so estimated 20,000 enemy combatants killed in action by Israel, right, due to their battle damage assessments, and that's a fair assessment based on the fact that a city the size of Los
is this Hamas or all Palestine?
This is Hamas, the PIJ, all of them, right? Well, actually, the PIJ, you throw on an extra 3,000 to 4,000 estimated enemy killed in action, and so now you're up to 23,000 to 24,000, right? So go ahead and knock that off that 60,000 figure, then add on. Okay. Then on top of that, add on 10,000 natural deaths that have occurred over inside of Gaza, just in that time frame. Then on top of that, I want you to add on the collateral damage figures that we talked about from my research doing it like recent and past conflicts involving Hamas, the PIJ, Al-Quds, like whoever, and you throw that in there, you're talking about another 8,000 to 12,000 just by indirect fire, not to mention small arms that all need to be knocked off of that figure. When we actually do the math and we break it down, Israel's killed only about 12,000 to 15,000 civilians inside of Gaza as a result of collateral damage.
So here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to that. That's horrible. That sounds like a lot until you look at America and you look at Iraq.
I tell you that between 2003 and 2013,
in Iraq,
the United States military killed under the United States military killed under, that's actually a lie. It wasn't millions. The United States military killed under 40,000 enemy combatants. It was 39,000 and some change. Civilians, just under 140,000. It was like 138,000 and some change.
Yeah, but that's
and
6
again,
times that.
So I want you to think about this. You have all of Iraq,
yeah,
all of the country of Iraq,
which is huge,
in a 10-year time span, killed 40,000 enemy combatants. Gaza, the size of the city of Las Vegas, has 40,000 enemy combatants inside of it at the start of this conflict. Go ahead and multiply that by 10 for their support network. That's moving the rockets around, that's cooking the HME, that's moving weapons, like all of that crap, which are also all valid military targets. That equates to 25% of the civilian population inside of Gaza. 25% just in direct support. And
Yeah,
again,
crazy.
here's the next crazy part. If it's a freaking genocide, it's the most unsuccessful one in history because Gaza's population has actually grown. And if you think they're all starving and you know anything about the female body, that wouldn't have been able to happen, because if it did, the female bodies would have shut down and they wouldn't have been able to reproduce, because that's actually how it works. I highly suggest you do some research. Really. You can't change human anatomy, facts, and stats. You can throw things out on social media, but you can't do that. It's just a fact.
There you go. I wish I knew more about it. I can't disagree with you because I don't know the statistics. That's my point, is that Matt knows a lot more than me. And so when he brings up something like that, I'll just shut up and move on with all objectively, right? Show us the ring video or give us the details. Which off from a foot away, even if the bullet doesn't hit you. The dude, $10. I dislike anyone who's not an 18 Delta. Well, that's me and Matt aren't 18 Deltas, so I guess you don't like us. That's fine. I'm fine with that. You just must like guys that fucking this guy. Something about this guy likes only 18 Deltas is a situation. He's not lying about the aid stations. Okay, maybe he's not, man. I don't know. In the 2 weeks that he was there, maybe he figured all this out and uncovered all kinds of crazy stuff and then got fired because he.
Nobody's saying he didn't take a picture.
Took dozens of pictures and photos. This is the thing that drives. I can fucking pull
his
up right
attorneys
here.
put those photos out. I showed.
Look, he absolutely.
These are his photos that he took that are up on the screen.
See, guys, we all have. Look at all these photos.
His attorney released it.
I agree with you. He 100% took all these photos. My point is, he had his fucking phone with his camera, and he's filming everything except for the war crimes he saw. All of a sudden, that's when the iPhone went back in the pocket. Ooh, I don't want to film this. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? You had your phone out. You're doing all of these. And Matt, that kind of feels kind of weird too. Like all of these huge photo ops, right? And then when it comes time to like verifying your claims, oh, well, have we heard what his reason why he didn't film all of the things he supposedly saw? Do we know?
No.
I don't know. I'm asking you if you've heard any of his rebuttal.
Why? His story just kind of nobody's asked him.
That seems like Tucker could have probably asked him that. Like,
yeah,
hey, you had your phone, you had your camera phone
could
on
ask
you.
Putin about the shit fountain spurting up over inside Russia too, but he didn't do that either.
I don't know. It seems crazy to me. Again, you had your phone on you. You took 1,000 photos, but then all of a sudden your phone stopped working when it was. And also, like, there's 30 Americans there, all with camera phones, and we're committing war crimes right in front of everybody, and nobody caught it on. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind here. I never had super chat, but claimed that he and his wife had been together for 17 years on Tucker's podcast.
I mean, maybe
well, that would be difficult, wouldn't it? Because the wife that he and I'm not going to put her name out, but I have her full name and I know everything about her, just because out of respect for her, and I don't know if she wants to, but as far as I understand it, his wife that he was arrested for put her in the hospital, by the way, they're divorced. So is he talking about on Tucker his ex-wife?
I don't know.
Not great. Anyway, leads off that their achievements are full of shit. I mean, he had decent achievements, I guess.
Overemphasize in there.
Yeah, and he did that multiple where the one he lied about the Silver Star in the emails, and it's like, Matt, we know guys like that. Like every moment he's going to force
too much.
We know guys like that. Tim Kennedy, even though he didn't actually have it. That's definitely one of Matt's viewers.
I'm just saying.
What's this? How out of the loop I am. What's Hasbara?
I don't remember. It's like I hear it so much and just in that.
Oh, Israel lies.
Yeah.
Are there? Wait, hold on. So is Alex saying you were lying that there's more?
A Hebrew term that generally translates to explanation or public diplomacy, but they throw it out there as if it's like propaganda type crap.
No, but my point is, he's saying that you're racist for saying there's more Muslims than Jews.
There's 2 billion Muslims in the world, and this goes down to what I'm talking about. Why people are is my problem with
I'm personally confused because I don't understand where the racism is in stating that there's more Muslims than Jews. Of
course there's going to be more money on that side. There's more people. There's 2 billion Muslims, and you can throw out everything that you want about like Jews owning an APAC and owning America. But God forbid I say there's 2 billion Muslims. You know what Muslims own? They own freaking oil.
Which I think they do.
Money's in oil. Everybody's sucking Saudi's wee-wee for a reason, man.
And China. We forget about China too, right?
And China.
I do think that they do, but I do think that like we're controlled by all sort of different vested interests, not just Israel, also China, also Saudi, also Qatar. I think that like everybody's got their hands in our bullshit, to be honest.
They do.
All right. Do you guys wait? Hold on. Here's a good one. My name is Nate from ValhallaVFT, and Israel pays me. There we go, boys. This stream is sponsored by APAC. All right. Alex Baker Lubin, $5. Do you guys even know that Israel has a massive propaganda arm of their government? Oh, like every government in the world. Okay, cool. Let's get into this. Why has Israel not allowed any international journalists into Gaza? Have they not? Because I've been told that the international journalists are the ones that are saying that they're there and they're watching the genocide.
They have allowed international journalists in there, number one. Number two, there's also, I don't know if you've seen the hordes of zombies that are in there, but it's not exactly a safe space. Not to mention Hamas is pretty much sniped. Like, they're killing their own civilians. Dude, I could show you a freaking, I can show you a photograph of like Gazans that like went over to pick up humanitarian aid, and then Hamas ends up stealing it, stripping them down to their underwear. And this dude's literally walking with a bone saw. Exactly the world's safest place, bro.
No, God, no.
And so then you have ongoing combat operations. Yeah, no.
Idea if you want to blame it on Hamas, it's
how jacked up would Las Vegas be if it had 40,000 jihad teeth?
Oh, with all the tunnels would be. Oh, dude,
bro, 40,000 jihadists.
Can you imagine too, and like all the fucking buildings, all the skyscrapers. You never
that
know
is
where
the equivalent. 40,000 jihadists. That's the equivalent.
That's wild, man. Yeah, I'm not trying to go in there. Fuck that.
That's what they're dealing with.
All right, here we go. Fentanyl Floyd with $100 dono with, again, my name is Nate from Valhalla and Israel pays me. Guys, the more you keep making these comments and the more money you keep donating to me, the more I'm gradually moving over this way to Matt's side of the aisle. Like, you just keep paying me, and then eventually I'm going to be simping for Israel. Chris Kahn, what kind of spice did I walk into? Yeah, this one's getting out of control. God, dude, I'm just trying to burn through these. What horrible things has Israel done in Gaza? Well, I mean, from the perspective of it, like whether it's against Hamas or whatever, I mean, just fucking shit tons of people are fucking getting killed.
Or we could say that they took over a mosque inside of Rafah and turned it to a chow hall, which I called them out for. Things like that as well.
Oh man, dude, this is great, man. Is this what it's all about? This is my name is Nate Paul and I get paid by Israel. I appreciate you guys, dude. Just keep fucking donating this comment, man. Unless this is going to Matt. If these are all to Matt and they're talking shit about me, then fuck you guys. All right. Pyrex Pixable, $5. Thank you. What about the video? He says the guy thinks, I think you got one, and the other guy says, hell yeah. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Matt?
Nate, did you ever get happy shooting somebody in combat? Were you ever celebrating?
I have such the perspective of, I think war glorifying is terrible that
I
want to answer that and say no, it's terrible, but that would be disingenuous of me. That's
but
exactly
in the
what
moment,
every single time. In the
moment, correct. Yep. And that is, I'm not proud to say that I've done that before either myself, but looking at that and being like, they're just killers. No, you got to look. Somebody told me one time that at the end of the day, and this came from an Afghan who's now dead. And it completely changed my perspective. I've been doing this shit for years. It completely changed me. The guy says, he said, today it ends. Either, this Afghan in the middle of combat. He said, either today it ends, either they die or we die.
Yeah.
That's what this man looked at me and said. And so that feeling, man, if you've never had that, like that is a weird feeling. I try to.
Yeah. And that's a great way to look at it. Like the situations I've been where that's had to happen, it has been like and I tell people this, like all of the times that I've had to do that, it's been the split second thing of like, oh, fuck. Right. Like you don't but afterwards you're like, oh shit, that dude is going to fucking kill me. So you feel pretty good about not being the one that died. I mean, that's kind of a fair assessment. But All right. The dude, $5. Ooh, I like the dude. So how do I disagree with TX actual if it gets me banned? TX, what's TX actual?
Oh, he's one of my mods. You're allowed to disagree with Texas actual, but we do have rules in our Discord and in our, to be
Like,
honest.
be respectful.
Yeah, like pretty simple things, and even over beef chat and duke it out in there with them if you want, you know.
Yeah, so that's how my chat is too. You can say whatever you want, say crazy racist shit that I have to ban you for because
And that is
YouTube will come after me for that or Matt for that if we don't moderate our chats. Okay, so the pro-Israel TikTok live streams.
I have been. It's not pro-Israel. It's just and then I end up defending Israel a bunch.
TikTok, is there like
you can live stream on TikTok. So I live stream from my studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I end up defending myself against all of the tequila that the Muslims are
different. All right. Do you want me to take this one? It is not a fan of Israel.
I mean,
do that.
It's up to you. I can shit on Islam all day long. It's up.
Muslim and Islam are different. No, they're fucking not. No, they're fucking not. How about that? That has nothing to do with both of us spent plenty of times. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, here's what I tell people. When it really comes down, bowed hand, Christian leader with the hands up, I say that's where I sit. Right on the outside of both of those things. So no, they're not different. They are the exact same thing. A huge problem in my opinion. And if you don't like that, I don't care. Who owns MSM though? Are you talking about like MSM?
Mainstream media.
I mean, fuck, I don't know. BlackRock. Oh, he wants us to say I get it. I get what he wants us to say.
It's the Jews. Blame the Jews.
There it is. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I get the joke. What about? Okay, there it is. What about the New York tunnels? Yeah, got it. All right. The real Sal, $5. America wouldn't have done a better job in Gaza than Israel, and not a lot of people are being on a live perspective isn't reality. America wouldn't have done a better job. I don't believe that. You know, I don't believe that.
I actually think we would have
the American military is far, far better trained than the IDF. That's not an opinion. That's an objective fact. Not to say that we didn't do some terrible things and have some huge whoopsies in our time.
Nate,
but no, I don't believe that. I think America would handle that situation far better. And that's not knocking Israel even. That's just me saying that we have a much better, well-trained military than they do.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Which is a fact.
But when he says that we would have done a better job and less people would get killed, Nate, when was the last time you did a clearing operation where you left a route for everybody to leave prior to entering and warned them before you went in there?
Oh, never.
Okay, so they had been doing that.
We never warn anybody.
Every single time. And I keep marching like army ants, leaving the areas before they do clearing operations. And that's half the reason why the actual civilian, fact, they have been warning them.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Time. They put it out on cell phones. They drop flyers. I
guess there was some teams that were doing like the KKA like door knock warning type of thing. It was very rare. I think I never did it. Like we were as we were infilling on helos, it would be like we would hear the fucking AC-130 like, oh, we just smoked 25 dudes like on infill. Yeah. There was no warnings. There was no nothing. Like if you were there, you're getting now not women and children or anything like that. Like you know what I mean. But like yeah, we don't we didn't warn people before we showed up. Sharon Dryer 50, whoever that was too. Thanks for all, especially Timmy Taint Liquor Kennedy. Luckily, you are in the right place with both me and Matt if you fucking hate Tim Kennedy's guts, because that is one to call him that because he would lick 50 and swear it tastes like chicken. Yeah, I mean,
children. You sure you don't mean children?
Also, if you want to talk about somebody who's actually unalived a bunch of women and children, apparently Tim Kennedy is your guy.
Oh, dude, he single-handedly defended Afghanistan from the IRGC.
400 IRGC fighters overrunning it. Which is Matt, in your time in Afghanistan, did you ever come across a single Iranian fighter?
All the time, man. All the time. All the time. As a matter of fact, I took a Shytac rifle with me in there and just started smoking them left and right. And I used my bag of hand grenades as like my rest, you know, like I was going to carry around like a sand sock, but I was like, you know, dual purpose bag of hand grenades and sand sock / rest.
There you go.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, swap of $5. We need a Jocko Nate and a Matt Tardio Kennedy and Jameson Travels, Jameson Rogan react to some of these comments. Comedy gold. That would be a good one. All right. What's up, Jasmine? Please make a shirt that says, "My name is ValhallaVFT and Israel pays me." We might do that. We might get some merch now. It's kind of wild, dude. It's like, Matt, this is what's great. This is what I love about this is you can take, it doesn't, and I knew this was coming. It was like, you can take a guy like me who's just outspoken, anti all this shit. And like, if I budge an inch to be like, is this sound correct? People are like, shill, Israel, shill. And it's like, okay, all right. That's all it takes.
How much hate did you catch for calling Tim Kennedy a liar too?
Oh, at the start? Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was crazy at the start how much hate we got for that.
Yeah.
All right, Richard G, $2. So Nate supports Palestinian Christians, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know if there's a shit ton of them. I mean, I know there's some, but there's a lot of Israeli Christians too.
There's less than 1,000. There used to be 10,000 that lived inside Gaza. Now there's less than 1,000.
Yeah.
And there was over 10,000 inside Gaza in 2005. And today there's less than 1,000. And you know what happened in 2005? Israel removed themselves from the Gaza Strip. And you know who took over? Radical jihadists. You know what their faith is? Their faith is Islam. Now, why do you think that over 9,000 Muslims moved out of Gaza Strip between 2005 and present day?
Well, because they didn't want to get slaughtered.
No shit.
If I'm Christian, I'm not hanging out there.
You're welcome, Rich G. I'm sure you didn't know that, but now you do. You're welcome.
But yeah, of course I do. But again, as far as I know, there's not very many. I think there used to be, like Matt said, but that's not a thing anymore. Johnny C, $10. What's up, guys? I'm late to the class topic. Was wondering, what are your thoughts on Trump sending? Oh, me and Matt talked about this earlier. Sending out 2 nuke subs near Russia. I'm sure we've been having some out there for a long time. Matt sent me that literally right before we started, and what was my response? Like, can we just calm the fuck down, dude?
Here's what happened.
What's going on with that? Can you fill us in?
Yes. So it's not just the U.S. v. Russia. We were doing the peace talks with Ukraine and Russia for a while for a reason, and there's a reason we didn't full on support them. Before we ended up bombing Iran, we were actually looking at using Russia to go in and actually decommission and remove the uranium like we did with the JCPOA. So when Obama signed the JCPOA with Iran, you ended up having like Russia go in there and remove the uranium. Funny, because at the same time, Russia actually helped build a lot of the freaking nuclear plants over inside of Iran. So they're getting like both benefits, right? Because they're getting paid for all this shit. But the Bashir nuclear power plant is an example. Well, anyways, all of that fell through. So after we ended up bombing Iran, now we've got no other need for Russia. And so when Putin wasn't coming to the table, then we started having tougher talks. Well, that caused Dmitry Medvedev to come out today and start making statements that allege that he would end up attacking Western countries with nuclear weapons, because last year they ended up adjusting their rules for using nukes. And it went down to like even providing support that would be used against like mainland Russia could be like first strike policy, basically. So he did that. And they have been making these statements for the last year about using nukes. Now, today, Trump ended up ordering 2 nuclear subs to go over into that region within striking range of Russia. Then Putin came out with that statement that I shared with you, where he's like, be very careful. The winds might drift your way. Like basically he's going to attack the United States if we try effing around, right? Problem is Russia's been doing that for a while. So Russia is running out of stuff and they're being forced to the negotiating table. I also find it kind of comical because even today, because you've got to look at everything and all the facts. Today, Zelensky released a statement where he said that the United States, that Donald Trump and Ukraine, that Zelensky and Donald Trump were willing to sit down at the table. No more envoys, no more written letters, no more any of this crap. Just the 3 grown men sitting at the table to end it. And Zelensky's coward ass, in my opinion, he's not a coward. I'm just saying that because the U.S. ended up moving in 2 nuclear subs the same exact day he ended up making the statement that he's willing to sit down with Putin. You know, those end up moving into the area and Bob's your uncle. And so I think that's what really kind of frustrated Putin. I don't think Putin's ever been challenged like that.
Interesting. Well, and that's the first thing I thought. And again, I've been I'm anti both. Imagine that from the whole conflict. But that was my thing of like, dude, you're threatening to attack America. You can't even handle Ukraine, dude. Like, what do you mean you're going to attack America?
Right. Well,
what are you fucking talking about, dude?
He does have the capabilities. Now, the funny part is reportedly this year, I want to say it's 2, it might be 3 of their attempted ballistic missile launches failed. Now, I can't remember if it was this year or the tail end of last year. Russia was actually off the coast of California and put in a NOTAMs, like notice to air traffic mission, like basically that they're shutting down the airspace in the international water off the coast of California because they were going to be firing rockets and missiles and shit. And they actually did this. They actually ended up blasting something up into orbit as well, if I remember correctly. But they were doing all that off the coast of California. 2 days ago, there was a Russian bomber that actually got intercepted off of the coast of Alaska by a couple of our fighter jets as well. And that's not anything new. They do that crap all the time,
Right.
periodically throughout the year. But I think what it is that Trump actually knows something more, right? Obviously, the president of the United States is going to have way more freaking intel than me and you sitting together.
Yeah.
So I would bet that he getting made by Dmitry Medvedev. I always screw his name up. Putin was over inside of Belarus today as well. Over in Belarus, he actually ended up moving up some of his Orshnik ballistic missiles. Now, those things would be within striking distance of the EU. I mean, it's a problem.
Yeah. To me, it's
and other NATO countries, like, I don't know.
Feels like so much billionaires really going to destroy the world. Maybe it's like they have pretty good lives, bro. If you're a billionaire, you're living pretty good. So why would you want to? But I mean, I don't know.
Damn sure Putin doesn't get to pull the trigger without the Jews' approval. So,
your ass, Afghanistan, Somalia. I already had this one read as you were talking, so I was going to go ahead and bring this up. So, Dad was a Green Beret. He fought in the Vietnam War. Okay, death numbers. North Vietnamese, the NVA and the Viet Cong, roughly estimated 1.1 million deaths. The AVRN estimated 300 because we had no business being there politically and it didn't really make sense. How often do you get this in your comment section? Because I get it all the time. In Iraq and Afghanistan. First of all, let's talk about Iraq. Napped Iraq in what, 30? Oh, and here's the other thing. You say we lost. What was the strategic remove Saddam Hussein from power?
Well, it wasn't necessarily remove Saddam Hussein, but was the counterproliferation part. Trump goes out and is like, there was no nukes. There was no WMDs. There's over 3,000 weapons.
That was the strategic goal, right?
But on top of that, yes, removing Saddam Hussein from power, and his ass was swinging from a rope before we even left. And there's a pro-USA government.
Exactly. So we didn't lose the war. We failed at, when actually in Iraq, we didn't fail at it, because now if you look at Iraq, you can go get hammered drunk in Fallujah right now. So that's not the case, but we didn't lose strategically Iraq. We won that. We just failed sort of a nation build. Afghanistan. What did we go to Afghanistan for?
We went to Afghanistan to remove al-Qaeda from being a safe haven and kill Osama bin Laden.
And what did we do?
Killed Osama bin Laden.
And removed al-Qaeda from Afghanistan.
Unless you subscribe to Sarah Adams.
Well, yeah, well, we don't on this channel. Sarah Adams is a giant fucking joke on this channel. So
thank you.
But my point is, guys, how did we lose those conflicts? Because as far as I know, strategically, we actually won those conflicts very, very early, and then we're just retarded and decided to nation build for no reason. So
right.
Sorry for listening to my TED talk, but no, we didn't lose Iraq, Afghanistan, or Somalia. Well, Somalia. I'm not sure how you win or lose in Somalia, because there's not even a real.
Hey, do you know what Somalia just offered us today? A brand new port. The Somali government offered the United States of America a brand new port. Do you know that?
Oh, great.
And we're still not done killing people over there. One of the largest airstrikes in history took place in Somalia not that long ago, where we dismantled and blew the shit out of a ton of ISIS fighters. Why? Because
very, very odd. But we also have politicians from Somalia who are now much more like that place. Interesting. Bird Shadow, USS Liberty was friendly fire. Listen to the survivors.
Documented. Listen, even the United States government and firsthand accounts, I don't like firsthand account eyewitness statements are some of the most unreliable. And I don't know if you know that. Battleship. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. That's why I'm asking.
Ship. It was a spy ship. It had 250 cal machine guns on it that weren't even mounted. They would take them and they'd set them up to be. It was a promise them that we had removed all of our ships, because all of this happened back during the 6-Day War. And we had promised them that we had removed all of our ships out from within the operational area control that they were looking to do, because they had Egypt. We had removed everybody out of there. Now, over in their, what we would presently call like a JOC, right? Or your Joint Operations Center, et cetera, that they had running out of, I forget what the freaking city it was, but where they were running that. Originally, they had pilots that had gone over and actually spotted the ship. Checked, and we were like, yep, nope, over there, got to get the hell out, right? So they had actually put it up on their plotting. We're not talking about present day, right? So they had put it up on their plotting board, and per their SOPs, they ended up having like a shift changeover, rollover over inside of the jock. And if information was stale, they took it off. Why? Because they're going to war. They had Muslims countries stacked up on the north, south, east, and freaking, well, I'm sorry, north, south, and east of them, all the way around that were going in to attack them. And so their Air Force was out there clearing it out. When they ended up removing it from the plotting board as is SOP, along with a bunch of other things, when they came across it, they attacked it. Ended up getting cleared. U.S. government said we had nobody in there, and the U.S. government actually came out and said that they did that. Now, if you want to prescribe and think that the Jews went over and attacked America, like I said, and that we should all hate Israel for that, then you need to go hate on the 75th Ranger Regiment for killing Pat Tillman. I can give you a dozen other names that have died in friendly fire as well as a result of the fog of battle. Do you know that the U.S. government fired on their own troops during the Iraq War? Does that mean that the U.S. hates their own troops? You guys are some of the densest freaking people on the planet. It drives me nuts.
There you go. Again, I don't know anything about it other than just from your typical USS Liberty stuff. So, all right, I'm going to look into that, because if I look into that and I find out it's true, then I'm going to feel dumb, because I've
you're welcome.
I've made the USS Liberty jokes plenty of time myself.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can throw jokes out there. I mean, I get it. Like, jokes are jokes, right? But like, the facts are also facts. U.S. government admitted fault in it. It was a spy ship that the U.S. government said was out of there, and it wasn't.
All right, next one. B. Mueller. Israel has, I don't know what this means, Casus belli to go after Hamas. The way they prosecute the war. As a parent, I don't believe your lying eyes. You're crazy. I don't know what's Casus belli to go after. I don't know. Maybe that's some type of, Matt, do you know what that is?
No, but I will tell you this much. Don't believe your lying eyes. You're crazy. Number one, 40,000 enemy combatants in the city the size of Las Vegas, 25% of their 2.1 that grew to 2.2 million civilian population. So this isn't going to be the first genocide in history where the population actually grew while they were starving to death and getting genocided, right? Has actually occurred. It's absolutely ridiculous, not to mention the actual infrastructure that's in there. And the fact that they had 20 years to dig over 500 miles worth of tunnels, men, women, and children all partaking. All
right. Jay from Green Beret Chronicles just posted a video supporting the guy. Tag him or send him some info. Really? I actually sent this out. I saw the video. I figured Jay was going to trash this dude.
Jay supported him?
Yeah, and I just checked my text messages. Yeah, apparently he's fucking buddies with the guy. So here's the thing, man. Jay, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Dude. We can talk about this offline, but that's fucking dumb, dog. You obviously don't know this dude as well as you thought. So big whoopsie on Jay's part there. I mean, Jay's allowed to support whoever he wants.
He's allowed to have his own opinion.
But at the same time, I literally sent our group chat this. I sent his fucking lies about Purple Hearts. I sent his uniform. I sent the arrest records for his domestic violence.
Jay was sitting there with us as we're trashing on Timmy for doing the same shit. Lies.
That's what I just looked at my text, because I was like, what? So yeah, I don't know. Jay can believe whatever he wants and support whoever he wants. That's going to be a fucking no-go for me. Here's my no-go, Matt. You want to support a dude that beat the shit out of his wife? Guess what? Me and you are fucking done, because I don't support women beaters or people that support them. So sucks. You can let Jay know. Yeah, I have no interest in supporting him if he's going to support dudes that beat the shit out of their wives. How about that, guys?
Now, do we know if he was convicted of it?
As far as I know, I don't know, but he was arrested for it. Let me look in my notes. He was then relieved from cause from 18th Airborne HAC after he was arrested for beating his wife and putting her in the hospital. And I have her name and information, but I don't want to. In the hospital,
that's no. If he put her in the hospital, no.
Again, I have her information and everything regarding it. I'm not going to say it because I don't know if she wants it shared.
If he put her in the hospital, absolutely not. If he legitimately put her in the hospital, absolutely not.
That's according to the people from Third Group who worked with him when he was relieved. So again, let's say allegedly with some air quotes, but you know how it is in our community, man. When we know somebody that literally worked with a guy who was, again, I know, fired from the 18th Airborne Corps HHC for domestic violence, and we have his fucking arrest records right there. I don't know. Tough sell, dude. Yeah, that's an uphill battle to me. You know, I don't have any fucking patience for fucking domestic violence, man. I don't. I'm sorry.
The only counter, and from like a law enforcement perspective, right? The only counter narrative is there is some cops that do real shit work. Like almost arrested a dude one time until like he ended up lifting up his shirt and showing me the bite marks on his back.
Oh,
To where this chick had like choked the shit out of him and all that other stuff. And if like I hadn't caught the fact that he had petechiae, he'd have probably been in jail.
Definitely fair. Mike Glover's a great example, right? That whole shit show that all happened. My point is, he was fucking, not only was he arrested, but he was relieved from command and kicked out of the unit. Typically, if it turns out that you were actually innocent, most likely you're not going to be fucking removed from command and kicked out of your unit. Not necessarily, but again, who knows? We don't know. All we know is that that's what he was. And Matt, when you add
cancer,
now you have a pattern,
blind kid.
You have a pattern of behavior to where I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. Now I'm not going to take your word for it.
I wasn't fired. I quit. Here's a fabricated document.
Here's my Serval Star I don't have. Here's extra Purple Hearts I don't have. Like there's just, so again, allegedly, well, it's not allegedly. He obviously was arrested for it.
Not allegedly.
We'll leave it at that, man. But again, like domestic violence for me, obviously PDF shit with kids, those are the red lines in the sand for me. Sorry, I'm not going to support you or anybody along those lines that supports you. That's just the way I am. All right, survivors. I'm assuming that's a USS Liberty thing right there. Grand Bear, what's up, brother? Israel made sure to destroy all lifeboats of the Liberty with their jets. And
Israel actually, you're such an idiot. You know, Israel actually went and did all the recovery efforts, like went in there to like bail them out with the recovery effort. They weren't shooting lifeboats and killing everybody. Like y'all are dumb. Like the attack did take place for some time. They did put a bunch of stuff on it, so on and so forth. But they actually did they did help with all of the recovery efforts and everything else. And again, the United States government admitted fault in it for having a spy ship in waters that they said wasn't there.
All right, there we go. Again, I don't know enough about it, but I'm going to look into this now because now I need to know. All right, Downrange Publications, $10, sending some appreciation from Down Under. Appreciate it, brother. We love our Aussies here. And the dude never said anything racist. TX is a POS. Called him out and got banned. I will not support anyone who buys their way in. Cheers. That's for you, for your
Texas. I don't even think has thrown out super chats, and I don't even know how long. I actually I don't even know what to tell you about buying is whatever.
All right. I think we did it. I think we made it through almost fucking 2.5 hours.
That was a tough one, man. That was a tough one.
Oh, I mean, but here's the thing. This type of thing is good because you can get two guys on here, very similar backgrounds, both Green Berets that have different outlooks on things that can have discourse, talk things through. What doesn't make sense. You
like guns, right? I feel like you like guns. I feel like you like guns. Do you see this over my head? You want to hear something cool? You see this over my head?
Yeah.
Right here. That's JD Vance, right? Like the VP of the United States of America.
Yeah.
That's from his cousin that was over in Ukraine for 3 years killing Ruskies. So that's the scope off of his freaking rifle. And then there's some hardware from him as well. Boop. I can't camera stuff. Boop. There's a buttstock of it. And then just other little random cool thing, man. Like I got gifted this last year from my buddy. That's a Vietnam SF patch that was like sewn up by some freaking little Asian lady over there back in the day. I think that's pretty cool. I like those things.
Yeah, I just got a dad that was a Vietnam Green Beret, so I don't have to worry about that, Matt. But no.
I mean, mine sucked. So
I'm just fucking with you. No, this has been good,
man.
My dad
doesn't love me.
I'm glad we could do this because again, what I wanted to do for this episode was get two guys that are both Green Berets that have kind of opposite outlooks on this that can both agree that this dude's a piece of shit. That's the whole point, guys, is someone like me should have taken this guy's side. I'm not going to because nothing about this looks legitimate to me.
And again, I vouch for his legitimate things in front of a lot of people, in front of a lot of very important people. Some of the legitimate things he said, like, did artillery fire? Did Israel use artillery and mortar fire and kill civilians? Yes, they did. That is a fact. It is documented and they have owned it. Were those sites hastily established? Yes, they were. Were they poorly established? Yes, they were. Did security initially suck? Yes. Like all of those things are facts.
Yeah.
Like that's not disputable.
Right.
The sobbing over some kid with no proof or stating that a tank shot a civilian vehicle in that environment
or that a machine gun just opened up on a bunch of innocent children on a road. That's to me, that's for me. Whoa.
Right.
Let's rewind this a little bit. This is starting to say, yeah, see, look, guys, nothing in this conversation is going to change my perspective on how I feel. But I think the truth fucking matters. And some fucking piece of shit Beret it's a fucking woman beater that lies about Valor Awards to be another he said some true things. He obviously said a bunch of bullshit up from his story, right? So that's my thing on this, right? Whether whatever's going on with Gaza, it is what it is. But like, dude, we can't, like, I know Matt agrees with this. Like, we can't have any more fucking Tim Kennedys, dude. I'm fucking tired of it. Personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if it's Gaza, if it's this, if it's that, no, thank you. I'm done with it. All right, one more. Hey kids, Nate Valhalla here. Israel pays me. I'm pretty sure all these went to you, brother. I think these were all on your chat of people saying it, but
that's why I started laughing before you pulled it up. I saw it roll through on my screen and I just started laughing my butt off.
Yeah. Look at, man. I mean, whatever. You guys can think what you want. I'm not changing my feelings on anything.
Nor should you. You know what you should do?
America first.
Research.
I don't give a fuck about either of these places, right? But also, I think the truth matters, right? And I think, well, speak the truth. I think you agree with that. And the truth here, as far as I can tell it, is that we got somebody that's acting in bad faith. That's the way I see it, Matt. What's your final thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I think he wrote it down that he's acting in bad faith. It's in black and white when he said, like, you could take all the bullshit out of it, and you could say that the guy would be even a bigger piece of shit because he didn't bring up the kids or anything like that. He was threatening to get his job back and go work with those people, or else he'd be the worst nightmare. So if you're on this guy's side, I want you to think about that. If he actually witnessed those kids being killed, and what he's saying is the truth, here's the question of questions that everybody should be asking him. If you witness those kids being killed, why were you begging to go back out and work out there, you sick son of a bitch?
Yeah.
Why? And then turn around and use that as ammo for yourself.
I'm going to write that down for the video tomorrow. I did not even think about that, Matt.
You don't have to, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot a very short 1-minute clip and I'm going to put that fucker out on Twitter and you watch that sucker fly.
You're right. He literally begged. We went through his whole script. He begged through 6-7 different texts and emails, begged for the opportunity to keep doing what he was doing after he supposedly watched children being murdered.
So again,
holy
you
shit,
sick
dude.
Son of a bitch. Why, oh, why did you beg for your job back? If what you said is true and you witnessed everybody killing kids indiscriminately, why did you beg for your job back?
Yeah.
And then why did you threaten to come back out? That is probably the most sick and twisted thing out of all of this.
Yeah. That's horrible. Now that I would not have, that didn't hit me at all until you just said that. That, like, yes, you're right. He went on an entire tirade to get his job back, to go out and help supposedly commit war crimes. God, dude. All right. I think we did it. I think we wrapped this one up. Big thank you to Matt. Also, everybody on Matt's channel that's been watching. You can follow me.
Just yell at me and be
like,
Valhalla Raid or whatever it was.
No, that have said they're big fans of both of us. So I appreciate it. I'm going to end the stream now. Also, guys, I'm putting out a full video on this. I'm going to do a little bit more research tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys check that out. Should be more concise and sort of make more sense. All right. All right, everybody. Take care.
Laters.